Welcome in, folks. This is the 482nd episode of the Dean Withers Show. For everybody joining us on this beautiful afternoon, I really appreciate you so very much for being here. If this is your very first time tuning in, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. You are in for a very wild ride. For 4 hours a day, we debate Trump supporters and people on the right, and we try to change their minds about why they support Donald J. Trump as president. Because let me be honest with you, folks, he is the very worst president of your life and mine, regardless if you are 8, 18, or 80. Also, for all those tuning in for the first time, especially on TikTok, hit that motherfucking follow button. We are 36,000 followers away from 7 million. That is absolutely wild. Every day, we get upwards of 1 million people that tune in and out of these streams on TikTok. So you should hit that follow button. Okay, I don't think that hitting 7 million followers today in the next couple of hours is impossible if y'all all hit that follow button, and that would just be crazy. But anyways, for everybody who's tuning in, we already do have the very first Trump supporter of the day, Mr. Daniel, connected to the stream over on TikTok. We're going to pass the mic off to them in one moment, but before we do, let's go through the breaking news. Donald Trump announced that he was going to cry if the Democrats win the midterms. Yeah, that sounds great. I'd love for him to cry. Let's go ahead and take a listen together.
Got a sprain, strain, or...
That would be an advertisement. Okay, here we go.
But we're not going to... Everywhere. But we're not going to be able to take it much longer when they can't get past voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots because they're crooked as hell. So right now, Congress is working to get as much of our plan as possible into the budget bill to identify and really terminate. Look, what they should do? Very simple. A lot of you don't know about filibuster. They should terminate the filibuster and approve everything. Because the Democrats are going to do it. The Democrats are going to terminate the filibuster as soon as they have a chance. And then they're going to approve Puerto Rico and D.C. as a state. They got 4 more senators. They're going to end up with 12 more congressmen. They're going to get like 40 electoral votes. If they are allowed to do that, by that time I'll be sitting home. And I'm not a big crier. I don't think you want to see me cry, you know? There are some people, they do very well when they cry. But you don't want to see me cry, but I may be crying when I'll be sitting home and I'll say I told them they got to really terminate the filibuster, get everything approved right away.
I mean, listen, we joke about Donald Trump being like a grown man baby quite frequently. But this, I think, is maybe the best example yet. He's literally threatening to like cry if he doesn't get his way. That's funny as hell. I hope he does. I hope he does cry. I hope he balls all over the place. And now I feel like we're going to have a Trump supporter come up here and tell me that I'm causing division and threatening violence because I said I hope he does cry. Bunch of snowflakes, folks. That's MAGA. Anyways, Daniel, you've been waiting for a while. Let's go ahead and hop into that debate. So before we went live on YouTube, I asked you why you support Trump, and you told us it's because Harris was going to crash the stock market due to her proposed taxes on the unrealized gains of the investments of billionaires, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to be debunked?
Yeah, explain to me why.
She didn't propose an unrealized tax for billionaires.
An unrealized gains tax?
Yep, she did.
On the stocks.
Yep, she didn't. I thought she did too. That was misinformation. I thought she did too for a while. That was misinformation. No, she didn't. So that was actually policy that Biden had proposed during his 4 years that he never ended up doing. Hannah, thank you so much for the 2 galaxies, 3 galaxies, 4 galaxies, 5 galaxies, 6 galaxies. God damn, Hannah, thank you. And then it was somebody like really influential on the left. I forget who. He did an interview. I forget his name. And he ended up confusing that policy of Biden's to be policy of Kamala Harris's. And then everybody just kind of rolled with it. But it's never policy that Kamala Harris ran on. It was nowhere on her agenda. It was nowhere on her website. It's not something that she would have done.
Okay, I would have to look more into that because I swear I remember, and the debates have been a long time ago, but I swear I remember her saying something about that in a debate specifically against Trump. And honestly, that did worry me a lot because if you're taxing 50% of unrealized gains on stocks, then the stock gains you only make are like 10% per year. Like that's 5%. Like why would I not put my money into a safer investment like into a bank that almost gives me the same yield with no risk at all of stocks going down? You
Yeah,
know,
thank you so much for
if
that,
I
Alex. I do appreciate you. Well, they're still going to be taxed on the gains of like a high yield savings account, so it would still make more sense to have that money invested in the market. And a lot of like these billionaire investors get a lot back more than 10% per year. I mean, like large money hedge funds. I mean, we see the top performing hedge funds in America that the billionaires work with, pulling like 20 to 36% back annually. That's why the rich get richer. But that's besides the point. We don't even need to debate this because, as I already stated, this isn't policy that she ran on.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, I have to look into that more. I just
Okay.
feel like I specifically remember something with her on the debate stage. And if I'm willing to send that to you and send that clip, would you not say that that was a pretty risky policy?
Well, I would give you my thoughts on that policy if you could prove that she ran on it. But do you have any other reasons why you support Trump?
Um, Other reasons why I support Trump. I just feel like I'm more conservative in thought, I guess.
Okay.
I
So, like,
mean,
what values do you share with him?
I don't think I share too many values with Trump.
Why do you
I
support?
think
How about
that
this? What is the biggest accomplishment of his second administration?
his biggest accomplishment right now with the second administration,
Yeah.
I think they're personally, I think he is funding the border better. I think that that is something good
What is he
that
doing
he's
with the
done.
border that you like?
I think it's just better border policy,
I know, but like,
more
what
strict.
specific policy, may I ask?
I think it's just more funding, more money going towards it. I don't think there's a
More money
specific
specifically
policy
going to what?
to the border agents.
To do what? What are they doing that you like? That's what I'm asking you. Like, I'm asking you for a specific quantifiable win.
I think I more support Trump just because of the things that I just didn't like in the Biden administration more than I like what Trump's doing, honestly.
Okay, because what Trump is doing is terrible. He's crashing the economy with his policy. Last year we got the worst jobs report in 20 years ignored in recessions, the most manufacturing bankruptcies in 15, and the most layoffs since a pandemic. Okay, his foreign policy is just fucking terrible. He's threatening to invade our allies and then begging those same allies to come to his defense in the war in Iran that he ultimately lost and then paid them $325 billion to get us back to the same position we're at before the war. And then domestically, he's like calling for the execution of his political opponents and having violent domestic abusers pretending to be LEOs, killing innocent people across the country. ISIS killed more American citizens than Iran in the last year and a half. So, yeah, man, I really do think that it is difficult as fuck to come up with a handful of examples of the things that Trump is doing that you're a big fan of. But you said, well, the reason why you support them is because you didn't really like a handful of the things that Biden and Harris had done while they were in the executive branch. So what is the worst thing that they did as the executors of the executive branch of this country that justifiably make you support Trump?
Well, let me touch on one thing that you did say in that rant on why you don't like Trump. Like, first of all, this is one example why I kind of do support Trump is because you said, oh, he called for the killing of these 6 Democratic senators, right, who specifically said that if Donald Trump gave them orders as the sitting president of the United States, that it was okay for those military people to go against the order of the commander in chief, which at the end of the day, that is treason and that is punishable by death. And we have done that in the past,
Okay.
right? If Trump would have called, if it would have been Trump saying the military not to listen to President Biden, you would have been like, oh, Trump is trying to upend our democracy. You would have been.
Yeah, there's like one really important word that you left off of what they said. Would you like to know what that one like very crucial word is? And honestly, I think that this just really demonstrates the slimy nature of people on the right. They said if he gives them an illegal order don't follow any illegal order. And then the propaganda machine of the GOP, including yourself, just conveniently leaves off that word to somehow justify him calling for the execution of his political opponents. No, what they did say is that if Trump were to give you an illegal order, you shouldn't follow it, which is echoing the oath that they took to uphold the Constitution, and to uphold the law, and echoing the law in of itself. Section 80, 90, and 92 of the UCMJ are clear. In fact, people in the military could be possibly criminally prosecuted if they follow an illegal order from one of their superiors. So you're absolutely wrong. There was nothing treasonous with what they said. That was just a clear example of a toddler wannabe tyrant calling for the execution of people that disagree with him just because they disagree with him.
What's the illegal order that they were talking about that Trump was apparently threatening?
Well, that's the thing. They weren't referencing any one specific order. They were just repeating the oath of the servicemen and women. They said if it were to be the case that he gives you an illegal order, you shouldn't follow it. And honestly, this just makes my case even stronger that it wasn't treasonous. Because if they did articulate one specific order that they were telling members of the military to disobey, well, then it would launch a debate on if that order was illegal or not. But that's not what they did. They just said generally and vaguely, if you were to give an illegal order, that they should disobey it.
Okay. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to have to look more into that too and see what orders they were specifically against, because I'm guessing there's probably...
They weren't against any specific orders. They just said, if he gives you an illegal order, don't follow it. How many times do I need to repeat that?
At all.
I mean, and in fact, it said so.
Like, your stream's like really freezing up.
It said so. Well, as long as you could hear me, we're good. It said so in Donald Trump's Truth Social tweets where he called for their execution. He responded to an article posted by the Washington Examiner that was literally titled, 6 Democrats in Congress call for members of the military to disobey unspecified illegal orders. It was just them saying, if he gives you an illegal order, don't follow it. They didn't specify specific orders, label them as illegal, then instruct the military to disobey them. So why was what they did treasonous?
Well, based on what you're explaining, it wasn't. But
okay,
like I said, I would like to look more into that.
Well, how about let's just look at it together, bruh. How about we just look at it together, bro?
Okay,
because
cool.
Guess what? I already have it all pulled
And
up.
I want to see all 6 senator statements. I want to see that there was none of those senators that left that part out.
Bruh. You got to stop talking.
The president of
just
the
read
United
the
States
first
of
tweet.
America Donald unlawful orders by saying that this is really bad.
Look at the tweet. It literally says Democratic veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified illegal orders.
You really are like cutting up a lot for me. I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
I don't think
no,
I'm cutting...
I like can't hear you either. Like when you said like I can't, like it's okay as long as you can hear me. There's like points where I can't hear you.
I mean, I don't...
And like even when you were showing that clip, I didn't see parts of it. Like I seen like a part, the beginning, the end. I heard like kind of like, you know, a part of your voice. Didn't hear a part of your voice. I don't know what's going on. I'm
not getting any feedback from you. TikTok informs me. TikTok literally informs me when like a guest on my live stream is in an area of bad connection. You know, if I'm lagging because of your connection, that probably means that you're lagging too. I mean, I think like we're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like 2 bars up in my corner, so I don't know. Maybe there is. It's probably me, but
it's probably you. Is this where you leave?
No, it's not where I leave.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm just trying to like I said, I just want to look more into it.
What do you want to look into specifically?
So we can move on to a different topic. I don't really care.
No. What do you want to look into specifically?
I want to look into what were the things that they were calling unlawful orders.
Oh my god.
Unlawful,
oh my god.
were they kind of like backhanding?
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
What?
Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. I've repeated this, bruh. I've repeated this 10 times. They did not specify specific orders from Trump and then label them as illegal and then instruct members of the military to disobey them. Oh my fucking god. No. They said
this is a weird statement. No, even like
They said if Trump
This is
were
just
to give you an illegal order, then the members of the military should disobey it.
Yeah, that's just such a weird statement for them to make.
Okay, you could call it weird,
At the
but
end
you
of the
can't call
day,
it
like, it just
treasonous.
doesn't really. It's but it's just weird.
Okay, so you
It just
accept,
doesn't- it's
you
not
accept that it's
freaking-
not treasonous. So then you accept that Donald Trump called for the execution of his political opponents with no good reason, correct?
I said I'm not sure.
What are you not sure about?
I said I would like to look more into it.
What do you
And I said I would
specifically
like
need to
talk
look
about the
into?
different. Just more context.
Of what?
I want to read more of their statements.
Okay, well,
I wanna
let's just
see
watch.
what
Let's
each
just
one
watch their
said.
statement. Let's just watch their statement together because it was a joint
All
social
6 of
media
them?
post.
Congressman Chris DeLuzio joined 5 other Democratic lawmakers, all of them military or intelligence community
Oh my God,
veterans,
bro. Shut up,
to urge
CBS.
current officials to disobey illegal orders. Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin, a former CIA analyst, posted the video. The lawmakers say threats to the Constitution
Force,
Your vigilance,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws.
Our Constitution and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Slotkin told the New York Times that she's heard from activists.
Bruh, dude, shut the fuck up, CBS. Let me play the clip. One moment. I'm trying my best here, but all of these goddamn news stations. One moment. All of these goddamn news stations just love to add their commentary like right on top of what we're looking at. They just love to add their comment. Okay,
Senator
perfect. I
Alyssa-
found the original video. Phenomenal. Let's take a listen.
Plotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow,
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
former paratrooper and Army Ranger,
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military.
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day.
Keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military
That trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy.
the Air Force,
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws.
Our Constitution
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
That's their video. Notice how they
Okay.
didn't specify any specific order. They just generally advise members of the military to disobey an illegal order if they get one.
I'm assuming that there was an order that Trump was going to give, right? I'm assuming that they were afraid of, but it probably wasn't actually an illegal. It would have been nothing close to an illegal
They
order.
didn't
but
specify
because,
any specific
they have
order.
This moral high ground.
Why are you?
liberals
What
do.
are? I'm so sorry. What are you assuming and why?
It'd probably be something with like enforcing deportations.
Where is
or
this assumption coming from?
things that
Where did they mention
or Trump
deportations in that
sending
video?
in National Guard to.
Where did they mention the
National
National
Guard
Guard in
to-
that video?
I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying that's why. I'm
Okay,
saying I wanna look more
okay,
into it,
perfect.
Dean.
What do you need to look more, dude? Oh my God, that video is the entire
This is why I said I
context.
want to talk about something
Bro,
different,
shut the
because
fuck up. I'm
I'm
putting you on mute. That video is the entire context for Donald Trump calling for their execution. There is no more. There's nothing more. That video and that video alone is the foundation for Donald Trump going on Truth Social and saying that they need to be hung. That's it. That's all. There's nothing else. There's no other further statements from any of the congressmen or women that Donald Trump considered when he called for their execution. There was no second video from the congressmen and women that Donald Trump considered when he called for that their execution. That 1 minute and 30-second video that we just watched is the entirety of the culmination of the statements and suggestions made by the congressmen and women that Donald Trump used for calling for their execution. So if we can agree that there was no clear treason, committed in that video, then we necessarily have to be able to agree that Donald Trump called for their execution without good reason. And if you respond to this by saying, I need to look more into this, I want to be extra, super duper, incredibly clear. There is nothing more to look into. There's no more context for what Donald Trump did. There's no more statements from the congressmen or women. That video is it.
You act like I need to believe you, Dean. Like you're just like this person that's like this all-knowing person, and because you said something to me, now I have to take that as fact, and I have to believe you in my heart, and now I have to play your little game where you know everything and I know nothing. And there's no possible, and that's why I said I want to go to a different topic, because at the end of the day, that's not good enough for you, for me to say, I don't know if I believe you, Dean, and I would like to do more research on my own end. And that just shows your narcissistic personality, which is very obvious on this stream.
All right, bro. Let me show you. I could prove that that video is it. If we take a look back at the tweets from Donald Trump's Truth Social account, you'll clearly see one thing, okay? One news article published by the Washington Examiner that Donald Trump responded to. Let's take a look together, bro. For the billionth time. I just can't believe you're being this
The
dense.
president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now demanding everything that you need to know. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, "Democratic Veterans in Congress Urge Service Members to Refuse Unspecified Unlawful Orders," by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country, and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, "This is seditious behavior, punishable by death." And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, "Hang them, George Washington would."
All right, bro. So do we agree that the foundation for Donald Trump's call for the death/execution of these congressmen and women was the Washington Examiner article that he read and then shared to his account?
Yeah, but when was the Washington Examiner post? What was going on in
Check this out.
political
Check
world
this out,
during
bro.
that time?
Bro.
What laws?
Check
There
this
was
out.
probably
Check
there's
this out,
not
bro.
unspecific-
Let's read.
unspecific-
Let's read the Washington Examiner article that Donald Trump was responding
Okay,
to
put that
together.
down because I don't care.
Democratic
I don't
veterans
care
in
about the Washington
Congress
Examiner. It's
urge
left-leaning.
servicemen.
We all know that. I would like a more neutral source.
Buddy.
Thank you.
The
That's
Washington.
why I said let's just go to a different topic. You want a different topic?
Okay.
Let's do a different topic.
Okay, two
because
things.
you keep pulling up these left-leaning sources that are obviously going to favor your narrative. So
Okay,
let's
two
try. Let's try.
Two things I have to say. First and foremost, you're thinking of the Washington Post. Okay, even the Washington Post isn't left-leaning. They're owned by the Murdoch family. This is the Washington Examiner, which is a significantly smaller, like alt-right leaning news source. Okay? Second point. This isn't just any article, any news source. This was the news source shared by Trump when he called them treasonous. This was the article that Donald Trump referenced for his claim that they need to be sent to death. Okay? I already showed you this on the video that I put up on the live stream of Donald Trump's posts on Truth Socials. So we're going to read it together. Democratic veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful orders by Mike Bress. What could it possibly say in this article? A half dozen Democratic veterans in Congress released a joint video urging U.S. service members to disobey unlawful orders, though they did not specify what those orders would be. Senator Alyssa Slotkin, Mark Kelly, Jason Crow, Maggie Goodlander, Chris D., and Chrissy H. said that the quote-unquote threats to our Constitution are coming from right here at home, and they repeatedly urged military and intelligence personnel to refuse illegal orders. That is the end of the article. Okay? So earlier when I told you that the only context, the sole foundation for Donald Trump's call for the death/execution of these Democrats in Congress was the 1.5-minute video that I just showed you, and then you responded to me by saying, Dean, I don't believe you. There must have been something else that these Democrats did. There must have been something else that these Democrats shared. and I think that you're a liar because you're a narcissist. Well, now I've proven to you that the sole foundation for Donald Trump's call for their execution genuinely was that 1 minute and 30-second video that I just played you, because now together we have read the article that Donald Trump read, reposted on his account, and used as the foundation to call for their execution. And the contents of the article are like literally 2 paragraphs just referring to the 1.5-minute video that we watch. Nothing else. They didn't talk about any other statements from these congressmen or women. They didn't talk about any other video from these congressmen or women. Just the 1 minute and 30-second video that we have already watched. Do you now accept that there's no further context for Donald Trump's call for their execution? Since I've played you the video and I've proven to you that that video that we both watched was the sole foundation for Donald Trump's call for their execution.
No.
What's the other context?
Because you're saying they're not specific, unspecified orders, right? And I'm guessing that there were some orders that Trump was probably leaning towards giving or was going to give during that time frame that they didn't say exactly what that order was, but they didn't like it, and so they made those videos. And that is what I'm saying. I am saying that I need to look at the context of the time, what is going on in that time frame for all 6 of those Democrats and senators or representatives to make those videos in the first place. And that is just what I would like to do. And that's just my personal opinion. And that's why I keep saying, can we please pick a different topic?
Okay. So you're saying that they possibly could have been making an insinuation that an order that he was giving or could have given was illegal, and that's what would be treasonous.
Yeah, because I don't know if it was going to be an illegal order.
Okay.
It could have been a completely legal order, but in their opinion, in their view, and it was going to be illegal because there's such a difference in separation of the left and the right's view on what's legal and what's not.
Okay, perfect. So can we acknowledge that verbatim, the words that they said were just echoing the law? They didn't explicitly call any order that he gave or was considering to give illegal. And the explicit words that they used were just an echo of the law. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, because I don't think these people are unintelligent or going to say something that's actually going to make them guilty of treason out in the public view completely where they don't have plausible deniability in court.
So you're saying that in many circumstances, or I guess in some circumstances, you could repeat the law and be guilty of treason because of insinuation?
Huh?
You're saying that there are circumstances where you could read the law because that's all that they were doing. They were just reading the law. But because of the insinuation of reading the law, that they could be guilty of treason. Is that what you're arguing?
Listen, I'm gonna leave because they're just posting personal stuff about your chat's posting stuff about my family, and
yeah, bro, these Trump supporters are real fucking smart, dude. They are so goddamn intelligent. I mean, we're just talking to the most cunning intellects that have ever lived. Go ahead and hop inside of the queue if you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. I mean, just like the cunning intelligence of these Trump supporters, it just genuinely it amazes me. It genuinely amazes me. I'm just shaken. I'm just taken aback by how just insanely intelligent these thought-provoking ideologues are. I mean, you know, that guy was, you know, the Albert Einstein of 2026. Highly intelligent, highly intelligent. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Only hop inside of that queue if you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, everybody. Crazy Critty, thank you so much for the $10 on Super Chat, who says, hey, teen, I love listening / watching your videos. You've taught me a lot. Thank you. I have some silly fan art I'd love to send you. Would tagging you on TikTok work? It sure would. Appreciate you for the $10. And then Freddie, thank you for the $10. Freddie, Oh, that's actually not a message to me this time. Yeah, Freddie, you're a weirdo, but thank you for redirecting that weirdness at somebody else. Emma, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, hey, Dean, thank you for debunking everything Trump has down because somebody has to. Also, this guy's dumb as shit. Yeah, bro, that last guest that we're talking to is honestly just infuriating. What a way to start the stream. Ugh, put me in a bad mood for real. Thank you for the $20. Please do show some love to them down below in the chat, as well as the GOAT Elizabeth is back. Thank you so much for the $100 on Super Chat. You are the absolute GOAT. Thank you so much. You are so incredibly, incredibly kind. Let's get 1,000 Elizabeth W's down below. I am so very grateful for you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Elizabeth with the $100 says, caller. This was around the time Trump was talking about annexing Greenland, I believe. Trump and the admin were talking about boots on the ground. This was their response to that imminent possibility. If Trump did send boots to Greenland, that would have been illegal. Yeah, really good context, Elizabeth. Thank you for the $100 as always. You are always hanging out with us and really supporting the stream. Just know that I appreciate you as always. We all do. Show some love to Elizabeth in that chat while we are hopping into the next debate, as well as Julia. Thank you for the galaxy. Welcome in, Save America. Are you a Trump supporter? We got you loaded up into the live stream. Hello, Save America. Are you with us? Are you with us? Are you with us? Quite frankly, apparently not. So we're going to go and move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the comment section if you're here for a debate. Tina, thank you for the future journey on TikTok. Holy cow. Thank you, Tina. Fresh Hot, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Fresh Shot, you got 2 seconds. Okay, they left as well. Folks, please do leave that queue for American adults that support Donald J. Trump as president. Please do leave that queue for American adults that do support Donald J. Trump as president. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's see here. Renelli, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Chloe, thank you for the $15, who says, been watching you for a while now. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Chloe. Let's get 150 Chloe W's. As well as Megan with the $15. Thank you so much. And Omar with the $10 saying, hey, what's up, Omar? I appreciate you. Let's see. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Quite frankly, I love supporting myself.
That's a troll, quite frankly. As well as Aria, thank you for the $5 in Venmo. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much, Aria. Very, very kind. Very, very kind. And then Earl with the $10 says, kick Daniel, please. Yeah, we got him out of here. He said that he wanted to run away anyways. And then Pascal, I'm probably butchering your name, but I appreciate you for the $10, who says, read silently if you'd like. Okay, I will keep that to myself. Just know that I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, Pascal. Welcome in, AJ. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
21.
What year were you born in?
2005.
And I don't know what are you gonna say today? You're gonna call me a grifter or?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? No, what's wrong with you? This is just your new alt account.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well that's unfortunate because I do. Julia, thank you so much for the flying jets. That guy's been joining the stream for like the last 2 years. Every week or so, he makes a new account just to try to get up on the stream. And he thinks that me and Parker are secret DSA socialists hijacking the Democratic Party to start a revolution, and that we're funded by the DNC. Or like funded by like some like dark money group. JOS Alt, do you support Trump?
Yeah, he's
How old are
my
you?
favorite. I don't want to tell you that.
Okay, I'm going to ban you. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Alana, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. As well as Alana, if your boyfriend's seriously MAGA, you should try to get him up in the stream. I'd love to talk to your boyfriend. Let's go to get the next guest Spirit Edits connected. As well as thank you so much for the $14, who says, Dean, please give your opinion on Fishback for Florida. Yeah, Fishback is terrible. He's super racist. He's an absolute degenerate asshole. And good news, he actually may end up going to jail because as it is beginning to come out in an unfolding court case, he lied about how long he's been a resident of Florida. You have to be a resident in Florida for 7 years before you could run for governor. And he's apparently only been living there allegedly for 2 years. And that's all unfolding in a new court case. So there's a really real possibility that he's going to get kicked out of the election and thrown in jail. Welcome in, James. Do you support Trump?
Nah, I just wanted to say something.
Sorry, James. We're just looking for some Trump supporters. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And then Miss SJ, thank you for the $30 donation on PayPal. It is good to see you today, SJ. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get through it at SJW's. She's always in here really supporting us. You know that I appreciate you as per usual, SJ. Thank you so very much. And then same thing to you, In. Thank you so much for the $60. Thank you so much, In. I really do appreciate you. And I read your message there. I'm going to start keeping your updates to myself. just because of the nature of them in. But I'm really happy to hear that he did get arrested, but I hate to hear that he's going to be out on bail. And I appreciate you for the $60. Let's get 600 NWs. That is very, very kind of you. Welcome in, Mark. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I'm 18 months.
Please leave the queue for Trump supporters, guys. Please leave the queue for Trump supporters, guys. Heavenly, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat. He says, maybe just start asking for intelligent Trump supporters to jump in the queue. Well, if only that wasn't a complete oxymoron, right? Welcome in, Mia. Do you support Trump?
Dean. I changed my values a lot. I did hop onto your live a couple weeks ago, and I did debate you.
Are you a Trump
on
supporter?
A different account? But
Mia,
I realized
I'm gonna give you a couple seconds here to tell us if you're a Trump supporter or not. Okay?
I used to be, but I'm not. I'm not dumb anymore. But thank you.
I'm really happy that I was able to change your mind, Mia. That is awesome to hear. That is awesome to hear. But I will politely ask you to please leave the queue just for current Trump supporters. But I'm really happy to hear that we were able to change your mind. Brandon, do you support Trump?
I did. I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to say the same thing to you, man. I'm really happy that we could change your mind as well. I think that is fantastic. I think that is fantastic, but please do just leave the queue for people who still do support Trump as president. Let's give them the same opportunity that we gave you, and hopefully we could change their mind too. Mandy, do you support Trump? Okay, Mandy, let's please just try to leave the queue for people who do support Trump. Let's stop trolling now. Tucker, do you support Trump?
Yep.
How old are you?
Nice muscles, puss.
Okay, well, I appreciate you for the kind words. Are you actually a Trump supporter? He left. Please do leave the queue for people who do support Trump. Asking y'all very politely. Honestly, the biggest issue with trolling isn't even the time that it takes from the stream, but it's the fact that it prevents Trump supporters from joining the queue. There's a cap on the guest requests. It's like 70 to 100. It kind of just depends on the day. It's kind of weird that it changes. But when we have all these trolls in the queue, then when actual Trump supporters try to request, they can't even join the queue. So it's like, yeah, the queue's perpetually full because we're always going to have the max amount of people in the queue. But when we have a bunch of trolls in there, it prevents Trump supporters, like real Trump supporters, from being a part of the people in the queue. And then they just never get in the queue because it's just perpetually full all day long. So let's just get back to the debates. Please, let's just get back to the debates here. Help us out by not trolling. Because it kind of does a lot more damage to the stream than you'd think. Baddies Fictional, do you support Trump? All right, please just stop trolling so we could leave space for Trump supporters in the queue. Come on now. Let's be adults about it. These debates matter. These debates change minds. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do, but this is more for my dad than it is for me.
Okay. Are you saying that you're going to put your dad on the phone?
I don't know if he'll say anything. He doesn't want to debate you whatsoever, but he does want to hear your points of view.
Okay. Well,
about Trump.
Then you could totally listen to the stream, and if he ever does want to debate me, feel free to request, okay?
Okay, could I just say one thing?
Unfortunately, not right now, just because we are looking for a debate, but I do appreciate you. I do really appreciate you. We are just looking for a debate right now. Maybe if we didn't have a bunch of trolls back to back, I'd let you say one thing, but it's like we gotta be an authoritarian on the rules. Quentin, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
How many donuts can you stack on it?
Okay. Yeah, please just leave the queue for Trump supporters. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Come on, guys. Try our hardest here just to follow the rules. Hey, do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Wouldn't you like to know, you fucking creep?
Well, you have to be 18 to be on TikTok. Charlotte, do you support Trump? Charlotte, just come on, guys. Leave the queue to Trump supporters, please. When we have a bunch of trolls in that queue, it just makes it nearly impossible. Holy moly. We found Zach again. Hello, Zach.
Hello.
I believe I wronged you earlier, huh?
Yeah, it's all right.
No, it's good to have you back. We know this guy's a Trump supporter, so give me one moment here to thank a couple people, and then we'll pass that mic off to you. Sounds good?
All right, perfect.
Miss Megan, this came in 4 minutes ago. Thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much, Megan. Let's get 500 Megan W's, who says your blend of humor, intelligence, and tenacity makes my day every day. I'm so fucking happy that you enjoy the live streams and that they make your day. That is awesome, Megan. We love that. We love that. Show some love to Megan. Show some love to Megan. Then Arlene and Angel, I appreciate y'all both for the $5. And then Miles, thank you for the $10. He says, Dean, did you see the $25 I sent last night? I'm so sorry if I missed it, Miles. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate you for the love. As well as Angelina. Thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Angelina. Then Ali, Kyler, and Marie, thank you all for the $5. And then Mary with the $25. She says, so glad I get to listen to your live on the way home after a shit-tastic day. It will redirect my focus and make me feel better. Thanks, Dean. I'm so happy that we can make you feel better, Mary. You've been watching for like 3 years. I seriously really do appreciate you. And then McKenna for the $15 as well. I'm going to keep that message to myself, and I bet you could guess why, but I do agree with you. Thank you for the $15. Go ahead and take it away, Zach. Tell us why you support Trump.
Okay, thank you. Well, I said this a little before, but I was saying Trump wouldn't be my main choice at all. I actually like a lot of people more, even that really disagree with Trump. Like Thomas Massey would be one of my favorite politicians. I guess I would lean a little bit more libertarian if I, had to say where I land on the political spectrum. But I do support Trump over Kamala Harris because in general, I don't really like the wokeness or the Democrats nowadays. Like, for example, saying like politeness is white supremacy, like in the Smithsonian Institution guidelines. It seems a little bit insane to me. I don't like it when transgender biological men are in women's sports or in women's locker rooms, or when we teach women, or or when we teach kids in schools about LGBTQ things like that. But in general, I wouldn't say I love Trump, but if there was an election today, I would vote for him. I do think that he's better than Kamala.
Okay, well, I don't think that the left thinks that being polite is being a white supremacist.
You know what the Smithsonian Institution guidelines are? Do you know that Brandon Gill question?
I've seen that paper thrown around, but it's even if it's real, that's not how the left feels. Maybe that's how one person who worked for the Smithsonian feels. Okay. I mean, I disagree with him. I don't think that being polite is being a white supremacist.
Well...
Okay, and for everybody watching the live stream that's also on the left, I mean, I feel like we have a pretty notable sample size here with 33,000 viewers. Again, we, as people on the left, agree that it's possible to be polite without being a white supremacist. Absolutely. Okay. So it looks like that's not a reason why you'd support Trump over Harris. Good try, though. And then the second point that you made there was about trans women in women's sports. Well, here's what I'll tell you. There's only 16 trans women in the NCAA. That's representative of 0.0016% of the women in the NCAA. And the thing is Donald Trump didn't even ban T women in sports. He just passed it back down to the state level, allowing states to ban trans women from women's sports. But of course, only like red states are going to do that. Maybe a few blue states, but the vast majority of trans women who do compete in sports, who do compete in the NCAA, are in blue states that definitely won't ban it, like California. So that ban may end up impacting like maybe one or two people. So I mean, I just kind of think that you have your priorities out of line. If you're like, oh, I'm going to support the guy who's going to impact millions of people by taking their health care away, the guy that's going to impact millions of people by taking their food stamps away, the guy that's going to literally kill 86 girls, the guy that's going to impact millions of women by taking their access to abortion away, because the left wasn't going to impact 2 trans women who are in the NCAA. Like, okay. I mean, I just don't think that's a real argument either. And then the third point that you made there was about teaching LGBTQ+ to young children in school. So what specifically do you think that the left wants to teach to young kids in school that you deem as inappropriate?
Well, if I was to say what would be inappropriate to the kids, is like, for example, like specific books that I've seen on shelves, even at like my school, for example, where it's like a lot of, now, I mean, like when I was 18, that was happening, but like right now, my little sister, she had a thing because right now she's 18.
Oh, you just at your school?
Yeah, my school.
So you're lying about your age?
No, I'm 20. I don't go to school anymore. I said my school, like. What,
like your high school?
Yeah.
So when you were in high school?
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat are saying that he's under 18, guys. If you have evidence, feel free to send it.
Yeah, if you have evidence, send it to him. But
I'm inclined to agree with y'all. I just haven't seen any hard evidence yet. Like which book specifically did the left want to put in high schools that you think are inappropriate?
I forget the name of the book, but it was something where there was like it was a guy and he was trans and he was talking about like his hardships in the world and about how like everybody's against him in school. And I don't know, I just feel like this message that like if you're trans,
What's the issue with teaching not even kids, like high schoolers, okay, about the hardships of the lives of different people?
well,
You
first
don't
of
wanna
all,
do that?
in my school, the high schoolers and the middle schoolers did share a section, but also, so it was to kids that were also like
What
in sixth
specific
grade.
book was this?
I don't remember the name. Should I try
Okay,
to
so it doesn't
research
say,
and find
okay,
it?
you're gonna have to give me more standardized curriculum. You can't just
Okay.
like this elusive enigma of this book that like I can't name, that I can't really think of.
Yeah, well,
You know,
again,
like
yeah,
for
yeah,
all I know,
that's
you could be
fair.
making this up. So what's like the standardized curriculum that the left wants to implement in school that you think is inappropriate in relation to the LGBTQ plus
No,
community?
that's fair. And I'm not even going to be able to give you a specific book like that because I don't have it off the
Oh,
top
okay,
of my
so
head.
then the
I would
reasons why
focus
you
on-
support Trump as president are fucking elusive as hell. While I identify real material harms that he's causing to this country and causing to this world, and I could identify real material ways that Kamala Harris would have made this country a significantly better place, you're telling me, oh yeah, you want the rapist to be president because of this grandiose, vague concept of this one specific book that you think you saw this one specific time about
yeah,
trans
that's fair.
people talking about their experience. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm beginning to like grow in agreement with my chat here that you're a minor because this just isn't a serious argument. Oh, you guys were right. He just got banned by TikTok for being under 18. Okay. Let's go to move on to the next guest. By the way, that's a permanent account ban. I just want to let y'all know, y'all kids out there, don't lie about your age, dude. You will get fucking sniped by TikTok. You will get sniped by TikTok, all right? And you are fucked because they'll ban your whole account. That guy got his whole account banned, all right? Because what happens is when people think that you're under 18, a bunch of people will start reporting you. And then TikTok looks at the reports and then they look at you and they're like, oh yeah, I guess this is a kid. And then they ban you because they take minors joining lives pretty seriously. So seriously that in fact, they ban adults for it. I'm looking at you, TikTok, and I'm talking about me. We had a pretty rough week last month. For those that know, you know. It was terrible. It was terrible. People in the chat are saying TikTok is 13 plus. TikTok lives are 18 plus. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue. If you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, we got Shauna loading up into the box, guys. We've been live for 55 minutes, and we just haven't had any serious dialogue in the slightest. We've talked to a kid and an adult that thought like a kid. So we're really struggling here to find some debates. Shauna, do you support Trump?
Hello.
Okay,
I
please
do
stop.
support Trump. Actually, I have, man.
Okay, so please stop trolling so we could actually try to change minds. You're very annoying, okay? Parker, Killian, do you support Trump?
To an extent.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year are you born in?
07.
DB, appreciate you so much for the future city. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if the election was held tomorrow between Trump and Harris, who'd you vote for?
Neither.
Okay. All right. Well, we're looking for people that answer Trump to that question. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only do hop inside of the only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Here we go, everyone. Here we go, everyone. Let me know if you are a Trump supporter down below. Starting to lose my patience. It's been an hour. I'm really starting to lose my patience. This is definitely pretty rough, guys. It's been an hour of trolls outside of like the 20-minute conversation I had with like the most dense Trump supporter ever. So let's just try to keep it to the debates, everybody. That's why I'm here. That's why thousands and thousands of people are here. We are here for debates, so let's try to keep it to debates. Also, I want to call this out. If you haven't followed my account yet, do it now. We are just a couple thousand followers away from 7 million. Hit that follow button, top left-hand corner. I'm being so dead ass. That follow button is in the top left-hand corner. Hit that follow button on TikTok. We're so close to 7 million. Charles, do you support Trump? Colby, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Nico, thank you for the galaxy. What year are you born in?
2008.
What month?
July.
What day?
14th.
Okay. What were you doing last week?
Last week, I was on vacation.
Any like thing that you did on that vacation?
Fish.
Was there a specific reason why you were on that vacation?
Because I wanted to fish.
Did you like do like something really fun maybe one night of that vacation?
Oh.
His birthday. His quote unquote birthday was last week, everyone. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Oh, right now, only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. His birthday was last week, guys, and he just totally forgot. He just totally forgot, everybody. He just totally forgot about his birthday, apparently. Let's go to get that next guest connected. On Super Chat, thank you so much. Name that I cannot pronounce because it's not in English. I'm so sorry. I'm not even going to try. Thank you for the $10. Who says, hello, can you say hello to Daniel and Ekaterina? Trump is a jerk. Hell yeah. Well, hey, you guys. I apologize if I butchered either of y'all's names, but welcome into the stream, as well as Runny. Thank you for the $20. Who says, watching you debate MAGA supporters with patience, conviction, and facts and seeing minds change has given me hope that change is possible. You've inspired me to run for council in 2027 and eventually mayor. Let's go. I love that. I'm so proud of you. Just know that you could do it, okay? We've had other people be inspired from this live stream and go on to run and win local elections. I'm so proud of you. As well as Leslie with the $20 who says, tried to use your link tree to donate through the Venmo, but no luck. It said it was probably a scam. LOL, sorry, dude. Have to support here even though they take a percentage. Well, the handle for the Venmo is in the pinned message and on the YouTube stream, as well as it's at the top of the phone screen and TikTok too. Just make sure that you quadruple check your spelling because there are a bunch of fake scam accounts out there. I appreciate you for the $20. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. Hello, Dean. So first, I want to
okay, please stop trolling. All right, deadass. Listen, it's been an hour. We have 33,000 people in here. Let me just explain this to you. Let me tell you why this is so important. We have 33,000 people in here. Every day we have around 1 million people that tune in and out on TikTok alone. When we don't troll, we are able to actually talk to real Trump supporters about the real reasons why they actually support Trump as president. And not only in that process are we quite effective at changing their minds, but the information that we discuss and the arguments that we exchange are also really, 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 really effective in changing the minds of plenty of the viewers, while also better equipping some of the viewers on the left at home with really strong talking points that they could then use to change the minds of their MAGA friends and their MAGA family members. So when you troll, you just completely destroy that process. You prevent us from being able to have those conversations. And now we're like an hour into the live stream and we still haven't had a substantive conversation because it's just been trolls for an hour straight. And I mean, it really does block a lot of progress. It really does prevent good, genuine dialogue. And, you know, I just hate that we're our own worst enemy because I've been given a really, really, really amazing opportunity to do something positive with these live streams. And, you know, the trolls really ruin that. So just please stop trolling, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry, but like, yeah. Still, thank you.
We're going to go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Guys, for everybody in the comment section saying that she's real, you are wrong. You are super wrong. You are very, very, very wrong. Her profile picture was a 70-year-old woman. It was not a 70 to 80-year-old woman. And then she apologized for trolling there at the end. Okay. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Welcome in, Derek. Do you support Trump?
Subspace and that kid won't stop.
All right, guys. Today the trolling is pretty bad, so we are going to end our live stream a little bit early. We usually go for 4 hours. Today we might just go for an hour and a half unless we're able to hop back into those debates here soon. I usually set that deadline when we're like through an hour of just trolls.
I took too long. I took too long.
Right here.
Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
Oh,
I was
you're
born in
born.
freaking February 6, 2008. You a pussy ass nigga. I'll kill your ass, bitch. Fuck you, nigga.
That's the right, guys. They're very violent people. It's probably a white boy too, so super racist as well. You know what I'd say, man? Try your best. You'll fail. You will fail. You will be a body on my floor, my friend. Colorado has very strong castle
Right,
doctrine
mate, can I
laws.
just get a screenshot 2 seconds and I'll
let
leave?
let me tell you, I'm fucking strapped. Okay? I'm fucking strapped, dude. All right? I'm fucking strapped, man. I've been building the armory. Just got my ATF approval for my 9mm silencer. So if you were to try to come into my house and cause me harm, the neighbors wouldn't even wake up until the ambulance got there to take your body away. So let's go to get that next guest connected. Only op inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Let's go to get the next guest up here. Only do op inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Someone of you guys in the chat are saying, "Oh, that's not." No, that's what that is exactly what will happen to a home invader who tries to hurt me or my girlfriend, who tries to come into our house and kill us. That's exactly what will happen. And I've had to prepare for that. I had somebody try to come to my house from Texas. They wrote a manifesto about how they're going to kill me. They were intercepted by the FBI. Then I had an FBI agent show up at my door, come inside of my house and sit down with me and explain to me that there was a credible threat made against my life and that the FBI had to intercept it. I've been swatted 8 times in the last month and a half. 8 times in the last month and a half, dude. Had somebody call me, try to extort me for money. They told me that if I don't pay them money, they're going to send somebody to my house to break in. So, yeah, I've had to prepare. I've had to prepare for that. I've had to prepare for that possibility. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box. And there's also a reason why I'm being so vocal about that possibility. It's to deter people from trying it. Because it will not end well. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only up inside of the comment section if you're an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got facts about USA loading in. Yeah, there was a very strategic reason why I said that. Very strategic reason why I said that. Because, I mean, we have so many people who want to do that to me. We have so many people who want to do that to me. Exactly what that last guest said. So many people that join the live stream, so many people that send me DMs, so many people that do other things beyond the scope of the stories that I've already shared with y'all, because the right genuinely is that violent. And like, unfortunately, the response to the violence from the right is not to cower away. It is to protect me and my family. Because fundamentally, outside of the live streams, outside of what I do, okay, for furthering progressive dialogue and support for progressive politics in America, fundamentally outside of really everything that you guys know about me, okay, what I care about the most is the safety of me and my loved ones. That is my top priority. And I am so prepared to defend that safety because of the level of genuine threats that I've received over the course of the last 3 years of doing this. And they've only been increasing recently because MAGA's only been becoming more unhinged. Welcome in, Clay. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. I was born 2006, January 4th.
And how old are you?
I would be 20. Turned 20 January 4th this year.
What are your pronouns?
He, him.
I'm not going to ask to see it, but do you have a driver's license?
I don't.
Permit.
Permit.
You don't drive?
No, I don't.
Do you work a job?
I do.
Okay, how many hours a week do you work?
40.
I just don't believe you. Sorry, Clay. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got Zin loading up into the box. Here we go. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Hello? Zin's not here, guys. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Here we go, everyone. It's been an hour and 7 minutes of straight trolls. We are going to end in the next 10 or so minutes, folks. Maybe 20 minutes. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We don't have too much longer on live unless we're able to get back into the debates. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
18.
Okay. What year were you born in?
2007.
What month?
March 3rd.
All right, bro. You'd be 19. I don't know why y'all keep playing. Let's get it together, y'all. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Don't know why y'all keep playing, bro. Playing in my face. Playing in my face.
D.
Welcome in, man. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 19. I was born in 2007. In May 21st.
May 21st, 2007.
2007.
19. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
What's up, dude? What's up, dude?
I got a couple people to thank here, but I'm going to put that on hold just for a moment so we could start
All
the
right,
debate
bet.
since it's been so long. Why don't you go and
Let's
take it
talk,
away and
bro.
tell us why you support Trump as president?
So, damn, bro, I didn't think I was gonna get in. So the reason is like some of his policies, obviously, like I can agree with some of it and I can't agree with some of it, you know? The same with like Kamala, but I don't agree with like a lot of what she says.
You agree with more of what Trump does compared to what Kamala
Yeah,
would have done.
yeah.
Guys, we're 29,000 followers away from 7 million on TikTok. If you're watching on TikTok, hit that goddamn follow button. Okay, sounds good. So what specific policies did Kamala Harris run on that you disagree with? And what specific
let me say
policies has
this.
Donald Trump implemented in the last year and a half that you do agree with?
I agree with his no tax on tips. Do you agree with that?
Here, watch this. GG. Here's what you could do. This is the way that I'll be able to invite you up to the stream, GG. So, GG, if you go down to the gifts and you spend 50 cents on TikTok coins, and then you send me like 10 roses, you'll pop up as a gifter right there on the phone screen, and then I'll be able to like click on your account like I'm doing with Hannah right now, and then I'll be able to hit that button to invite you to the live stream. So literally just spend like 10 cents on roses. Send those roses.
Wait, Dean.
Then I'll be able to see your account and invite you up.
Dean,
There
I got
you
a
are.
question. I got a question, Dean.
There we go. We got you. I sent you into that invite, GG. Okay. Wes.
I got a question.
Sorry, Wes. You got to go back to the queue,
No.
dude. GG. Welcome in.
Hi. Sorry it took you so long to get in here. Oh my gosh, you've been going through it. I apologize.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm happy for the first real debate of the day. Okay, we're an hour and 9 minutes. We're an hour and 9 minutes into the live stream, and by God, I don't think that we've had one substantive conversation with anybody about why they support Trump. So it's good to see you again. I really listen, Gigi. I'm gonna be honest. I really hope that I could change your mind. I really do. I'm gonna try my hardest. Okay, this conversation, I'm not going for clips, you know. I'm not going for the dunk. I'm genuinely trying to change your mind. Listen, I expect this to be a little bit of a longer conversation. I think that we're going to definitely be going through a lot today, Gigi. So I'm going to take a moment before we hop into it to catch up on all of the donations, just so, you know, I could do that now, get it out of the way, and then hop into the conversation with you, because I want to make sure I could show some love to the people who support what we do. Miss Maria, thank you so much for the $15 donation on Venmo. Says, I tune in every day and you've helped me to restore my faith that there are still some good men in the world. Oh, I appreciate you so much, Maria, and shout out to you and your daughters. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Let's get 150 Maria W's. Thank you so much. Aria, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then Pascal, thank you for the $5. And Paul, thank you for the $10. Who says, paranoia is a drug you could get addicted, end quote, from Set and Dowd. Be safe. Oh, dude, Paul, I'm super paranoid about my personal safety. I'm super paranoid about my personal safety. It is a big issue that I have. I probably need to go to therapy about it, Paul. Seriously. Megan, thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo. That is so kind of you. Let's get 500 Megan W's. Thank you so much. Megan with a 50 says, Dean, I have no clue how you dealt with all this, yet every day you continue to show up and educate and advocate. Well, I try my best. And Megan, I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you so much for the $50. Miles with the $15 says, money for ammo. Stay safe, brother. I appreciate you. Dude, Miles, I just got 300 rounds of 150 grain Syntech Federal Subsonic for the 9mm. You'd be surprised. That shit's more expensive than you think it is. I appreciate you for the $15. Thank you so much, Jordan, as well, for the $5. JT, thank you for the $5. And Ducky, thank you for the $50. Thank you so much. Who says, goes to show that if you go far enough on the left, farther enough left, you get your guns back. Regulation does not mean full-blown bans. Yeah, I think that regulation could mean full-blown bans on a lot of guns, but definitely not like the guns that would be necessary for home or self-defense. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for the $50, Ducky. I'm very grateful for you. Same thing to Dylan and Hank. Thank you guys for the $5. And huge shout out to Faya for the $5 as well. Tessa, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. And then Jenny with the $10 as well. He says, my goal is to get you to remember me. Haha, me and my girlfriend watch you every day. Well, Jenny and Jenny's girlfriend, I really appreciate the two of you guys. Shout out to y'all both. And then Megan, thank you for the $15. I'm very, very grateful. And Mary, thank you for the $25 and sending me that link. I'll definitely take a look. And then April, thank you for the $50, who says thank you for everything that you do. Well, thank you for supporting us, April. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huge shout out to April. Britt, thank you so much for the $10. I really do appreciate you. And with all that being said, we're actually caught up on Venmo. Over on Super Chat, thank you so much for the $20. Rogue Soul, who says, every day I watch you and every day I'm in awe at the fact that you don't play chess, Dean. I think you've said that before, bro. You're right. I don't play chess. I don't know. Never gotten into it. And then Miss Madison, thank you for the $50, who says, Dean, you and Parker were brought up in my college government classes today as a Democratic activist, and it made my day. Hope it made yours too. That is incredible, Madison. I love that so much. So you probably have a really good professor if they even know who I am. That's ultra based. Hell yeah. Then over on PayPal, thank you for the $5, Christopher and Rashad. Appreciate y'all both. Tracy, thank you for the $50, who says, everyday watcher here. Your patience with some of these people deserves hazard pay. I had a little bit extra today and wanted you to know how much you appreciate it. You're funny as hell, Tracy. Thank you so much for the love. That's so much money. I'm so grateful for you. Genuinely, you all have all been so incredibly kind to me today. And then let's see here. Thank you so much for the $5, Corey. Taylor, thank you for the $5. And Anthony, thank you for the 10. We are actually all caught up. Gigi, appreciate you for your patience.
Always.
Listen, yesterday when we started our conversation, I'm going to be honest. You kind of went on for a very long time. One thing that I will ask of you is just to attempt to be as succinct as possible. And for everybody in the comment section saying invite Santana, I did. He's out of the house right now. But Santana, of course, you know that the invite stands whenever you're back. So why don't you take it away? I'm going to write them down. What are the main reasons why you think Trump is a good president?
Okay, and I'm going to attempt to not be as long-winded. I will say I'm exhausted and didn't sleep, so you might get one on me a couple times. But I think the biggest thing we were talking about last time was immigration, the LGBT community, and I think I also mentioned policing in general and how we in general how we authoritarianism, to make it short.
Authoritarianism? Are you saying like the authoritarianism of the left?
So as an opening statement, as far as that conversation, I would say.
Like, I'm just asking you, like, are you saying that you think that the left is authoritarianism and that's why you don't agree with the left? Or are you saying that you think the right is authoritarianism and that's why you do agree with the right?
That's why I do agree with the right and what we see, especially like, for example, the National Guard being deployed in DC. Now, I know it sounds crazy, right? But look how much cleaner DC got, period, though.
Gigi,
did it not clean up just a little bit?
Can you please define authoritarianism?
So let's say a head figure has power, is able to establish and the word I'm looking for here. You know what? I will give you the actual definition right now, so I'm not just playing with words. Define authoritarianism. Thank you. Authoritarianism is a form of government or social organization characterized by the concentration of power in a central authority, strict obedience, and the reduction of individual freedoms. It prioritizes social order and state control over democratic pluralism, often suppressing political opposition and civil liberties.
So it seems. So you're saying that you agree that Trump is an authoritarian, but that's one of the reasons why you support him. So let me make this very simple. Let me make my response to this very, very simple. So we agree that Trump is an authoritarian. He absolutely is. He wants to control his opposition. He said that, you know, attacking them in the media is illegal. He's threatened to take the media licenses away from companies that report not in favor of the war in Iran. He has called for the execution of his political opponents, and he's gotten the media licenses revoked of companies that haven't done what he wants. He imposed an unconstitutional ban on journalism from the Pentagon unless what they're writing is pre-approved by the government. Okay. And he wants to consolidate power 110%. He's tried to take power away from Congress. He's tried to take power away from the courts. He's tried to take power away from the Constitution. Okay. He's tried to take power away from Congress by saying that he could pass legislation without them. He's tried to take power away from the courts by saying that, well, we could find a new way to ensure that the children born to undocumented immigrants don't have birthright citizenship, even though the Supreme Court ruled that's constitutionally protected. And of course, that's the same reason why he's trying to take power away from the Constitution. So he is authoritarian, but I would say that that's a very bad thing. I don't want more power to be consolidated to one man, where he then uses that power to suppress political dissenters and infringe on individualistic liberties and freedoms. Why do you disagree?
So, and I'm talking about when the left calls the right authoritarianism. It's kind of like a play. I have some friends in here that tell me to go ahead and say that just to get the thing started, put a little fire under our butts. When I think of that, I think of the example of deploying the National Guard into places like DC, high crime areas. We see that. It was very effective. I'd be in favor of like high population, high crime areas such as DC. I'd say like things like New York, LA, where it's prominent. I know in California, they even increased the level of what federally criminalized. I think up to $1,800. They're willing to say, oh, it's only 1,000, it's only 1,500, it's only that, and almost incentivizing that kind of criminal activity. I'm not in favor for that. I think we should have more of those around those high crime areas, see a decrease in that crime, and get the functionality of those areas back in order. I'm not opposed to order. I like order. And Trump resembles that. Does that make more sense?
So the first point that I'll make here is he only had really successful, quote unquote, National Guard deployments like in DC. Really, it was a microcosm. When we look at like everywhere else in America, it was pretty much a failure, especially in the blue areas that he tried to deploy the National Guard, because the Supreme Court and federal courts across the country agreed that that was illegal because he did so without the governor's approval. So that was actually an example of Donald Trump infringing on the rights of states, as well as the Constitution in of itself, more specifically the 10th Amendment, to militarize members of the National Guard against citizens. So I would say that that was like a shockingly bad thing to do. And if you say that you want order, well, I don't think that we can have order with a president who is fully representative of pure chaos, okay? It's pure chaos to have a president that's raping women and then calling for them to be thrown in jail. It's pure chaos to have a president who is threatening to invade our allies. It's pure chaos to have a president who's representing the most two successful black people in the history of this country as literal monkeys on Truth Social. It's pure chaos to have a president who's calling for the execution of 6 of his Democratic opponents in Congress. It's pure chaos to have a president who's threatening to genocide 90 million Iranians overseas. It's pure chaos to have a president who's imposing unconstitutional tariffs on every other country in the world, illegally siphoning $171 billion from Americans. These things are absolutely pure chaos.
I try to go backwards. You say a lot of points too, so I'm trying to think and go through each one.
I could reduce it down to like 3.
That would be helpful. I feel like
he's a rapist.
Okay.
He threatened to invade our allies, and he threatened the genocide of 90 million people. Those things are very chaotic.
Thank you. No, on paper, yes, that does sound chaotic. At what point was he found criminally liable for rape?
Well, there's no such thing as criminal liability. You have criminal conviction and civil liability. He was held civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll in 2023.
I don't think he was held specifically for that. I think it was liable for sexual abuse and defamation, wasn't it?
Well, the action that he engaged in that they found him guilty of is reflective of rape. So sure, they legally called it sexual abuse, but because the action that they determined he engaged in was forcefully penetrating her vagina with his fingers, and I believe that to be reflective of rape, I say that he was found guilty of rape. And the courts agreed. In fact, because they agreed, they then later went on to update their legal definition of rape to include the penetration of a woman's vagina with a man's finger. But as long as you agree that a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers without her consent is rape, well, then you would agree that the verdict in that lawsuit was reflective of rape.
Well, I'd have to concede if that's how they're going to change the definition moving forward. Yes, that would make a lot of sense. I'm not entirely sure of what actions, where she was, but where her mind was at the time, what was predisposed. I know with the billionaire types, there's always that run of the mill, like, oh, she's only doing it for the money, etc. And I believe it took her some years to go ahead and even put that case forward, especially in a prominent time during one of his elections, I believe. So I think I was reading too, here in my notes, standard of proof. Civil court requires a preponderance of the evidence more likely than not, rather than the strict criminal standard of beyond a reasonable doubt. So when I think of that, I'm trying to is it just word against his, or is there indescribable, or not indescribable, oh my gosh, undeniable evidence that this actually occurred?
Okay.
Do you know from that case, was it actually happened? There's evidence, or
yeah. So you're right. The burden of proof is different in civil courts than it is in criminal courts. One is preponderance of the evidence, and then one is beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. But I would actually say that she proved it in that civil court beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, because I don't think there is a reasonable doubt to the outcome of the court case. And I mean, trust me, Donald Trump tried to appeal that court case 6 different times, and every single court that he attempted to appeal it to turned around and rejected it and called him a liar and upheld the verdict, including the 6-3 conservative-leaning Supreme Court with 2 of his own appointments. And one of the jurors, okay, in that civil court was a MAGA Trump supporter. Okay, he indicated on the jury selection sheet that he was a big fan of Tim Pool. He watches a lot of right-leaning media, and he thinks that Tim Pool is a really good moderate voice. Keep in mind, Tim Pool is literally a Kremlin propagandist that loves Trump. And for that reason, the victim, E. Jean Carroll, her attorneys attempted to get him ejected off the juror, but Donald Trump's billionaire attorneys, much better than hers, was able to convince the judge to keep him on. And even the Trump supporter on the jury ruled his guilt. And I would say that the actual evidence inside of the case is pretty undeniable. I could go through that if you'd like.
So you said something very interesting, essentially alluding to Trump paying off the judges in order to get either a lighter sentence on that. I do believe I read something along the lines of, I don't know if it was ABC or which stations, please correct me if I'm wrong, that he did press charges, oh my gosh. He had sued for defamation and won many of those cases and these allegations. Do you know what I'm referring to?
I do, and you're wrong. So what you're referring to is Donald Trump's lawsuit against ABC. After the verdict from, the civil court came out and it proved that he was a rapist, ABC called him a rapist on live TV. And he said, that's defamation. They found me guilty of sexual abuse or sexual assault. And then he sued them. But ABC then settled with him outside of court. And the reason why they did this is because George Stephanopoulos, the CEO of ABC at the time, was a fucking spineless coward who didn't want to go to the discovery period of that court, because then Donald Trump could legally mandate ABC to submit private internal communications and discussions surrounding their reporting to the public court record. ABC didn't want that, so they just simply settled outside of court. That's not representative of a guilty verdict for ABC. That's not representative of the legal claim that it's true that calling Trump a rapist is defamatory. And after E. Jean Carroll, won this case, she went on live TV. She called Trump a rapist. And then Donald Trump sued her for that too. But then the judge in that follow-up suit threw it out and ruled that it was substantially true that Donald Trump did rape her. Okay? Because once again, as long as you think that a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers is rape, then you accept that the jury found him guilty of rape, because that's the action that the jury adjudicated he did.
Personally, I would classify that more towards sexual assault, but I can see and concede again, if that is the point of the law and put into place, then I'd have no choice.
Well, let me clarify here. I don't care what the law says. Okay? Yeah. I don't care what the law says at all. Okay? 250 years ago, when slavery was legal and the law said that a black woman, for instance, couldn't possibly be raped because they weren't a person at all. Okay? Yeah. That didn't mean if I was alive at that time or I went in a time machine that therefore I'd say it's true that they couldn't be raped. And this doesn't mean that today I'd hold on to the perspective that there were 0 people raped during slavery. No, I'd say that there absolutely were black women raped during slavery, even though the law said that they weren't. Okay? So if you're telling us here that you don't personally think that it is rape for a man to violate and force his fingers upon a woman's vagina, I'll just ask you, what's the relevant distinction between a man forcing his fingers in a woman's vagina and a man forcing his penis in a woman's vagina that makes it rape in one scenario but not the other?
Well, that begs the question, how are we defining sexual assault then? What are the legalities and where is the threshold between the two? As far as I'm concerned, as far as I was aware, when it came to rape, that is a forced action of penetration given by genitals, in contact with genitals. When I think of sexual assault, I think of forced groping, non-consensual touching, and I would imagine that would fall in line with that. Not that obviously rape is bad, duh, but when I'm clearly defining legal terms, that's how I would progress that.
Okay, well, yeah, I just disagree with you. So I define rape to include the penetration of any orifice of an individual's body with any part of another individual's body, or even an object. Okay, I think that a man can rape a man. I think that a woman could rape a woman. I think that you could even rape somebody with an inanimate object. As long as there's forced penetration of an orifice, I think that action is rape.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. When you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm willing to concede that point. Absolutely.
Okay, so that leaves me with a question. If you accept that they found him guilty of rape, why do you support an adjudicated rapist as president?
It's not so much that I support him specifically, but Republican conservative side as a whole. Unfortunately, he's just the one that happened to be, and I didn't even get to vote at the time. I was pregnant in the hospital. I missed my opportunity, but it's not MAGA Trump specifically. Like, I'm in favor of Marco Rubio going for 2028, if that makes any sense. But him as a person, he just happens to be in the seat that dictates the laws that I have to abide by, if that.
Okay, so you're more so a supporter of the party. Well, I would say that the party is reflective of Trump, okay? He's the executive of the party. Because whenever there's anybody in the party that disagrees with him on anything, they get pushed out, okay? The GOP today is merely just an extension of Trump's will. Because whenever anybody in the GOP disagrees with Trump, they get kicked to the curb. Really common examples include Thomas Massie, who voted with Trump 92% of the time, but because Thomas Massie disagreed with him on the Epstein files and on the war in Iran, Donald Trump called him the worst congressman in the history of our country and supported the person he was running against in his primary a couple months ago and kicked him to the curb. Same thing happened with MTG, disagreed with Trump on the Epstein files, he pushed MTG out of politics as a whole. Same thing happened with Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace was a Trump loyalist, disagreed with him on the Epstein files, pushed her out of politics as a whole. I mean, it has happened to literally every member of the GOP who has substantially disagreed with Trump and argued that they want the GOP to move in a different direction than just a sole extension of Donald Trump's will. I mean, Donald Trump is the knight and the GOP is the sword at his hip. I mean, it genuinely is. There's no distinction nor room between Donald Trump and the GOP as a whole because the GOP as a whole is an extension of Trump today.
I can see being in some kind of executive power like Trump is sitting in and trying to form, especially when you have a very small window of time, form the group of people you want to represent your, I'm trying to use my words very carefully here, form where you think the country is best going to go. When you are the appointee of these positions, you're going to want the best, the brightest, etc., and you're going to bend and edit at your will to make sure that that happens. I think that'd be fair to say for any sitting president, wouldn't you?
Okay. If you're asking me if it's fair to say that any sitting president is the ultimate body of control over the party that they represent, I would not say in the same way that Trump is today. Okay? Like, for example, there were Democrats who disagreed with Biden. Democrats that weren't pro-Israel. Democrats that didn't support interventionism overseas. Democrats who didn't agree that giving Israel more money to buy more bombs was a good thing. And although they were just a select few, they still existed, even under the Biden administration. There were Democrats who didn't completely align with the establishment. You had the AOCs of the world. You had the Bernie Sanders of the world. You had, democratic socialists within the Democratic Party. And even these people, although they didn't 100% align with Biden, Biden didn't put an active effort into getting them voted out because Biden didn't want the Democratic Party to be a mere reflection of him and his interests in the same way Trump has reformed the GOP into a reflection of him and his interests. I mean, it's crazy that because of Trump, the GOP will defend him giving complete presidential pardons to violent criminals who tried to insurrect our Capitol on J6. Because of Trump, the GOP will defend his baseless claim that Biden rigged the 2020 election and he was the true winner. The GOP will defend anything that he does. One day, okay, they want no new wars. The next day, because Trump started a war in Iran, all of a sudden, we really needed a new war. And that's why I say that there is a unique relationship between Trump and the GOP that we've really never seen ever before with any other president in their presidential in their party. And more so, once again, the reason why I bring this up is because you said you don't necessarily support Trump, but you do support the party. Well, if the party is a reflection of Trump and you don't support Trump, then you don't support the party either.
So when I think of Trump, when I think of the right, when I think of the election as a whole, the majority of Americans voted for what he ran on. And from what I can see, he's putting that into place. That's going to cause some shifts and turns, especially, and I'm glad he did this, the mishandling of the Epstein files is something that pissed me off greatly, especially Pam Bondi. I'm so glad that he moved her out the way. That was a disgrace. So when it comes to moves like that, clearly, not just from societal pressure, but obviously you're making us look bad and it's not getting anywhere forward. I know he also mishandled saying the Epstein files were fake. That pissed me off too. I'm definitely critical of my side when I can be. You said something interesting earlier, though, in the sense of a power play, like how he would buy off the judges in favor of, or something. Can you reframe or restate that for me?
The two claims that I made earlier about the courts were that Donald Trump tried to appeal the outcome of the civil court that found him guilty for rape to 5 different courts, including the Supreme Court, and they all rejected his appeal. And I also brought up how his really good attorneys were able to convince the judge in that case to keep the Trump supporter on the jury.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with actually trying to bribe the jury and or the judge, correct?
Yeah, there was no bribe. That's just how the law works.
Then I misunderstood. Thank you for clarifying. An executive power. I know, and I think back to Obama too, especially when it comes to the war. I know he said no new wars, and Iraq happened after the continuation of Bush, and then 3 wars on top of that. It's like, oh my goodness. I feel like there are some things for preemptive self-preservation for the nation that just have to happen. When I think of, and I know Iran is such a topic that's just been droned on about, but unfortunately it's affecting our lives today. There are some things that have to happen. I know that nuclear power, we had an agreement that they can't go over a certain threshold. They went over that threshold and we're continuing to climb that threshold. I guess Trump and his team, got wind of that. And that's why, as far as I am aware, is a reason why they decided to strike and stop that escalating process. But please, you're shaking your head. Tell me why.
Yeah, you're wrong. So there was no agreement in place that would prevent Iran from enriching their uranium beyond a threshold that they violated that kicked off this war. The agreement that you're referring to is called the JCPOA. Obama created that in 2015. Iran honored that agreement. They upheld their end of the deal. And then Trump actually pulled us out of it in 2018. Okay? We need to remember just how much Trump hates Obama. Donald Trump's introduction into politics was being racist against Obama because he's black, arguing that therefore he was probably born in Africa, even though he had a birth certificate from Hawaii. Even today, all these years later, Donald Trump is continually racist against him and his wife, depicting them as literal monkeys on Truth Social, and going on to just espouse the craziest conspiracy theories of all time, posting on Truth Social at 3 a.m. that Obama's literally a demon who worked with the CIA to try to overthrow the government in 2016 that needs to be in jail for treason. He fucking hates him. So when he walked into office in 2017, January of 2017, he tried to revert anything that Obama did merely for the reason that he didn't want Obama to have a standing presidential legacy, which included Obama's agreement with Iran that forced Iran to never develop nuclear weapons ever again. He pulled us out of it, which then gave Iran the green light to continue the development of nuclear weapons.
That's a really deal. And I'm just brushing up on this really quick. Enrichment limits. Cap its uranium enrichment level at 3.67% and limit its total enriched uranium stockpile. Core terms, centrifuge reductions, reduce the number and type of centrifuge in operation and redesign of Arak heavy water reactor to prevent plutonium production and IAEA inspections.
Yeah. The Cliff Notes is it stopped them from building nuclear weapons, and there was an international body called the IAEA that did in-person inspections of all their nuclear enrichment sites to ensure that they were honoring the deal, and they did.
Now, when you say honoring the deal, how are we getting these numbers and that's being reported that they were over that threshold then?
Because, once again, Trump pulled us out of the agreement. The IAEA only started to report that they were over that threshold after Trump pulled America out of the agreement. So, in other words, Donald Trump actually greenlit Iran to continue their development of nuclear weapons because the American government, right before Trump walked into office, were like, hey guys, we don't want you to develop nukes, and for that reason, we are willing to enter into this agreement with y'all that will give you guys some economic relief if you give up their nuclear ambitions. Iran in turn said, okay, well, we kind of want nukes, but we kind of want to prosper an economy more than we want nukes, so we're willing to honor and agree to these terms. And then Donald Trump walks into office and he says, fuck these terms, I don't give a shit, we're pulling pulling out of this agreement, what does that signal to Iran? They're good to go build nukes. So if you think that Iran building and possessing nuclear weapons is an imminent threat to our country, well, then you would condemn Donald Trump for being the first mover in the sequence of events that led to Iran attempting to develop nuclear weapons.
Now, didn't Iran, what's the word I'm looking at? Defile their agreement with the GCPOA, and that's kind of where all this started, though?
No, there was not a single report from the IAEA at any point before May of 2018, before Donald Trump pulled us out of the agreement, that indicated that they'd violated the agreement. In fact, in 2017, Donald Trump signed off on the IAEA's findings that at that moment at that point in time, Iran was upholding the JCPOA.
Iran violated the JCPOA. Da, 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 da. So, yes, Iran initially followed the GCPOA, but later began violating its terms after the United States withdrew from the agreement. Ooh, the international... don't tell me. Oh, we mean boom.
Boom. Mic drop.
Later began violating its terms after the United States withdrew from the agreement. You know what? Withdrawn in May 2008. The International Atomic Energy Agency, which is verified that Iran complied with the nuclear limits from the deal's implementation in 2016 through mid-2018, and even for a full year after the U.S. withdrawal in May 2018.
Damn, I didn't even know that. Whatever source you're reading off of is based as hell.
You know what? Damn. Okay, Dean. I'm not even mad at it. So, where does that leave us in this conversation? I have a lot more digging to do, and I need to recheck some of my sources.
Okay. Yeah, well, where that leaves us in the conversation is at a point where Donald Trump, because of how eroded his brain is, because of hatred and racism directed towards Obama, greenlit Iran to build nuclear weapons when we were in a place with Iran where they were honoring an agreement that prevented them from building nuclear weapons. And this, should make you doubt Donald Trump's cognitive capabilities, and B, definitely demonstrate how he's not an effective leader that can advocate for long-term policy-oriented solutions based on outcomes, but rather signs legislation into law or repeals a legislation off the books based on his own personal convictions that don't draw any insight from truth, fact, or outcome, but rather from his own prejudice and bigotries.
I would say prejudice and bigotries might be a slight stretch, but I'm also trying to understand logically why he would put that position in place, if not for, the history of us in Iran isn't really that great. In Iran with, Iraq and the surrounding areas, especially how we saw with Iraq kind of just going ham all over and just dropping nukes everywhere after, I guess, in a way, throwing a tantrum after we kind of started. But our long history with Iran kind of tells me otherwise. There has to be something logically that makes sense as to why maybe he got another piece of information from his intelligence saying otherwise.
What you're doing is you're pre-assuming that Trump is a rational actor. You have to make the pre-assumption that Donald Trump will only make logical decisions in order to argue that because he pulled us out of the JCPOA, there must be a logical explanation for it. I don't grant you that pre-assumption.
Well,
I think he pulled us out because he hated Obama. Listen. Let me give you my explanation. The GOP hated Obama so much that if Obama said, guys, don't literally eat your own shit, it's really bad for your health, Republicans across the country would have been getting out the fucking excavator, tearing up public roadways, using a metal saw to break into the sewage system, and just ramming as much shit into their mouths as humanly possible. Like, at that point in time, the GOP was just whatever Obama doesn't want us to do. They were just anti-Obama within every sense and every stretch imaginable.
Even so, I know there are some things that I would argue maybe Obama was a little more harsh in immigration than we are actually today. And that's one criticism I have of the right, too. I'm not saying put people in cages like Obama, but there are some things I can see. But again, the long-standing history between us, Iran, dare I say Israel, for allowed to say that on TikTok. There are a lot of things that kind of coincide, and I'm trying to bridge the gap here. Oh, you're catching me when I didn't have any sleep. My goodness.
The gap is just what I've already described to you. Like, do you accept that Donald Trump's introduction into American politics was straight up being racist against Obama?
Well, I think racism and directly Obama, I wouldn't even call that racism. Maybe just a personal dig, but racism might be a stretch. I don't know.
Oh, well, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
if
it,
you
dude.
can tell, I've been trying to like start that conversation with you a couple times now. Mentioned racism against Obama 5 times because I really want to talk to you about that because it's super true.
Okay.
Would you agree that attempting to deny a job opportunity to a black man because he's a black man is racist?
Because he's a black man, on the basis of that specific sentence with no further context, yes, I would agree.
That's what Trump tried to do to Obama in his 2012 election. I could prove it. Donald Trump tried to convince the nation that Obama was not born in America. Donald Trump tried to convince the nation that Obama was born in Africa. I don't like seafood. Thank you for the castle fantasy. That is legitimately so kind of you. Thank you so much. And even after Obama produced a birth certificate from Hawaii proving that he was born in America, Donald Trump called that birth certificate fake and still tried to convince people to not vote for him. Because if it was true that Obama was born in Africa, he would not have been constitutionally eligible for the presidency. So the reason why Donald Trump disseminated these lies was an attempt to get people to not vote for him. And attempting to get people to not vote for him was an attempt to get him rejected from this job. And the reason why he wanted him to get rejected from this job was due to his race, proven by the fact that he basically argued he was born in Africa because of the color of his skin.
Now, I can definitely see wanting your political opponent to not get into the place of position you're trying to get him away from. But even so, let me ask you this, just curious. If you were to look at Obama and you were to assume, let's just say at first glance, he wasn't from here, where would you think he would be from?
Well, I think at
I'm
first
genuinely
glance,
curious.
let me explain this to you. I think at first glance, okay, assuming that Obama is not from America is reducible to racism, because it seems like the only reason why you would assume that is because of the color of his skin.
Sure. Just like I would go up, not me personally, but if you were to say it, anybody else that was running, anybody else, do you think he would put the same energy that someone who had the same ideas, same sentiments, same policies as Obama that happened to be black, happened to be white? You think he would do the same things?
I don't think he would do the same things, and I could prove it. He didn't do the same things to Biden. Why do you think, what reason do you think Trump had to say that Obama was born in Africa? What reason do you think?
I feel like there was some kind of rumor at that time too, and he was just kind of playing off that, but I can't really speak on that because I'm not entirely sure. But on the basis of just that statement, I would have to say, yeah, maybe.
Maybe his race?
Maybe.
I
African-American.
Yeah.
African-American.
I think that one is clear.
Santana.
Obama was a black man, an African-American. So the reason why Donald Trump would basically argue an African-American was born in Africa is probably because they're an African-American, or in other words, because they're black.
Did Donald Trump make accusations that Obama was born in Africa? I'm just actually
Specifically, he said Kenyan. Kenya.
Kenyan.
Yeah,
Okay,
specifically.
good and tribal. Yes. Okay. Donald Trump repeatedly questioned whether Barack Obama was born in the United States, promoting the false claim that Obama was actually born in Kenya. Okay, that's Santana.
Are you saying you don't know about the birther myth?
I heard it loosely, but back then I wasn't politically anything. I was just running around, a kid, whatever. God, what year was that? Oh my God, 2011. Where was that? Just about to graduate high school. Actually, I was nowhere near politically anything. Even now, I'm like barely get into these talking points and debating as a hobby. But no, I didn't even know that he would be behind that. I don't know if it was either behind it or he took wind of it, got on it, and used it as a political attack to get him not elected. But I see that often with people.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was the one directly behind it, Okay, meaning
Mhm.
that he presumed Obama was born in Africa because of the color of her skin, or he just picked up on that trend of other people presuming that Obama was born in Africa because of his trend to attack a political opponent, because either he was directly engaging in racism by assuming a black man was born in Africa to deny him a job opportunity, or he was directly engaging in racism by using other individuals' presumptions that a black man was born in Africa to directly deny that black man a job opportunity. Either way, those two actions are incredibly racist.
At the same time, though, it's still up to the American people. He ended up winning. Yay, cool. I would argue too, like the same thing. I have people question Biden's cognitive abilities. I'd attribute it to the same kind of slide tactics of like, oh, look at this guy. He's not fit for whatever X, Y, Z. You can call that bullying. You can call that with Obama racism.
Would you
Sure.
agree
I
that it
feel
was
like racism is
racist?
more pointed. I feel like racism is more pointed. I feel like racism also is just kind of loosely thrown around these days. When I think of racism, and especially as a black person, I think of something that, well, actually, that would kind of tie into your definition right there.
Yeah, when you think of racism, you think of a white person being really derogatory to a black person because of their race, which happens to be the theme of the conversation that we've engaged in over the course of the last 10 minutes, how Donald Trump was super derogatory to a black man because of his race and attempted to limit his social opportunity. Like, I don't really
I just
think.
want to call out that just saying that it was just Obama is selling the lengths that Trump has went to be racist short. I mean, there's so much more than just Obama.
So much more than much about. What other examples do you have of Trump doing this, though? And genuinely asking, I want to know. I want to look into these things and bring more to the table if I come back next time.
Okay. You can look into the Central Park Five, a group of, or Exonerated Five, a group of young black men that were actually, Donald Trump took out a full-page ad saying that they should actually be sentenced to death when they actually ended up being found innocent. He still holds that position even until 2024 when he reiterated that during his debate with Kamala Harris, and he was sued for defamation again. You can go back to what him and his dad, Fred Trump, were found to be not giving black people access to the rental properties due to the fact that they were black. You can go to him calling Kamala Harris or saying Kamala Harris turned black. You can talk about the actual attack on quote unquote DEI since he's come back in office, specifically just targeting anything that is closely related to black people. Hell, you can go to the fact that he specifically made sure that any type of black exhibits are removed from the Smithsonian to ensure that like the idea and the information around what happened with chattel slavery in our country is completely whitewashed. You can talk about the fact that his policies directly caused 400,000 black women to lose their job. And while he returned to office, the black unemployment rate skyrocketed while the white unemployment rate pretty much stayed the same. Hell, there's so much. And sure, he did post a video of depicting the Obamas as apes, as monkeys, but he's done so much more than that.
You said quite a few things, Santana. Oh my goodness, let me see if I can catch up. So the Central Park Five, wasn't that woman that was jogging through Central Park and was beaten and raped and murdered? Wasn't that? Was that
No,
the
she
same
wasn't
one?
murdered.
She wasn't murdered, but she was alive?
Still alive. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's good. Yay. Don't like that happened to her. Boo. But I could have sworn it didn't. And I know, I think part of that, I read a little bit about that. The teenagers were either
coerced to say that they did it, and they gave a false testimony saying that it was them, even though it wasn't. Trump took out the actual full-page ad prior to them actually being exonerated. They were fully exonerated. Donald Trump doubled down and tripled down on his lies and basically saying that they're guilty, even though they have been proven to be innocent.
I swear I saw something where he recanted that, but also, yes, he did do that. But this is before the information came
he didn't
out.
recant it because he said it again in 2024 when debating Kamala Harris, and he was sued for defamation again.
I actually didn't hear about that. And I'd like to verify, but I also don't want to go. I'll move on to a different point and come back to that one. Oh, the second thing you said, I can't remember. After the Central Park Five, what was the other one?
Him and Fred Trump. Dean, you want to tell her about the his dad and the rental property?
It wasn't his dad's property, wasn't it?
It was him and his dad's. He was personally named in the lawsuit. because according to the property manager that was refusing to rent to black people, that was a direct order from Donald Trump. So him and his dad, both of them specifically named in the lawsuit, were sued for a violation of the Civil Rights Act by refusing to rent to black people. And by the way, Donald Trump later went on to write a book and admit to it. But he said he didn't refuse to rent to them because of the color of their skin. He refused to rent to them because they were quote unquote poor. But the New York State Justice Department, they sent in white testers and black testers into these properties to ask if they had any available units. When they'd send the white testers in, the property manager said, yeah, we do have available units. And when they'd send in the black testers, the property manager would say, we don't have any available units. They also sent in paper housing applications. And then they later found that for every paper housing application they sent in from a black person, the property manager would put a letter C on it and then throw it in a junk drawer. So he just straight up refused to rent to black people. And let's also not forget that in the 90s, he called all black people lazy.
Mm-hmm. Add one more thing on top of that. He settled outside of court with the U.S. Justice Department. They had to take out a full page ad basically saying they wouldn't be racist and they would rent to anyone.
Yep.
So when I think of that, right, automatically, just like when you sign a lease with a roommate, you're automatically going to be in a legal binding contract, whatever. Let's say the roommate skips out on you. Now you're both still legally liable. Now, this sounds like more of a problem with the landlord or the leasing agent. I need to see it and read it for myself. That Trump made that.
The directive came directly from the Trump Corporation, and the actual manager specifically said that it came from the people at the top.
Which is why
the people at the top,
which
but that
is why
doesn't necessarily name him.
It did. The lawsuit was against Fred Trump, Trump Properties, and Donald Trump.
Yes. Donald Trump.
Yep. He was one of the three bodies in the lawsuit. So they sued the organization that was engaging in this violation of the Civil Rights Act, and then they sued the two people at the top that were giving the order to violate the Civil Rights Act. That's why Donald Trump was personally named. In order for Donald Trump to be personally named in a lawsuit, this means that Donald Trump had to be personally guilty of breaking the law. You can't be sued for something that you didn't personally do.
Correct.
Now, is that a directive of saying because he owns that company or because he has, what's that saying? Is it fair to say that because his name of ownership and title of the properties would put him in that position? That's what it sounds like.
No. That only put you in that position as it would relate to a lawsuit against the legal entity of the company. Yep. So if you're the owner of a company and you're in that legal entity, the actual company gets sued, okay, well then sure, you're the one in the hot seat that is inevitably going to be hurt. But it wasn't just the legal entity of the company that was sued. It was also the personal individual of Trump that was sued. Okay?
Correct.
And that only happens when the personal individual, had personally broken the law. Mm-hmm. And like I said, later in the book, Trump admitted to it. He said, yeah, we did that. Just not because of the color of their skin, but because they were poor.
Well, yeah, especially what the leasing rules that we have now, or rules, I guess, or preferences. If you, now, did he say that they're poor, or were they actually
this was in the 70s.
Applying?
You trying to apply what we do now to the 70s isn't, it's not applicable.
How did it work in the 70s? Can you explain?
Yeah, the regulations around leasing and protections for renters weren't as strict as they are now.
Yeah, but we don't even need to get we don't even need to get bogged down by that. The point is that Trump said he did it, but he said he did it because they were poor. But the lawsuit sit in white testers and black testers that either reported the same income or didn't report an income at all to ask them if they have any available units. And they said yes to all of the white testers and no to all of the black testers. So it was because of their race, not to mention the whole letter C standing for colored on the housing applications.
Mm-hmm. So the white testers came in without any verifiable income and said, hey, do you have it? And they said yes. And then the same thing happened with black, applicants and the same thing, testers. And it was pretty, okay. So I still feel like that's more so on the property management unless it was a directive still in place. So it was a directive still in place after the lawsuit?
It was a directive from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Him also, specifically, not his father.
One caveat that I'll add to this, and maybe this will help you contextualize it.
Yeah.
Fred Trump, rampant racist himself, he was actually arrested at a KKK rally And so he and, you know, his son specifically were in business together. So knowing the history of his father, I mean, I think it's a bit of a stretch to pretend as if it was just about finance.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot at this point.
Yep.
So,
Understandable.
property manager
Mm-hmm.
rejected black applicants because they were black. Property manager told Justice Department that that was an order from the Trumps, Fred Trump and Donald Trump. Donald Trump went on to write a book, said it was true, but said it wasn't because of their race, but rather because of their income.
Yep.
So if it's true, but not for the reason that he was being held for, I'm really trying to...
If he wasn't doing it because of their race, but rather doing it because they were poor, well then they wouldn't have rejected all of the black applicants when the DOJ sent their testers in. That was probably Trump and his dad in the 70s saying all black people are poor.
Also, Dean highlighted that the testers, the white and black testers, when they sent them in, they had comparable incomes. So you can't apply that to one and not apply it to the other. So if it was about them being poor, then they would have rejected the white applicants as well.
Yeah. Donald Trump probably thought that all black people were poor because they're lazy. In the 90s, he said that, quote unquote, laziness is a trait of blacks.
Yep.
He said that.
Yeah.
Literally.
He said, I
need to find out.
I want Jewish men with yarmulkes counting my money. I don't want the blacks counting my money because laziness is a trait of blacks.
Yep.
No,
Which
that's
is,
actually crazy.
Perpetuation from reclamation ever since black people freed themselves from slavery. The connotation of them being lazy has been perpetuated, and that was just Donald Trump picking up on an actual reference from post-slavery.
When you say black people got themselves out of slavery,
I don't want you to focus on that. I don't think that you're ready for that conversation. I want you to lock into where we are right now.
Locking in. Okay. Now, I will say I'm not too versed on the entirety of that case. I would have to go back, verify what you're saying, and I'd be willing to concede because that does sound a little intense, sounds a little crazy. But I know, I'm sure you guys are definitely not fans of Trump. Duh.
Okay.
So I want to verify.
So Trump probably did something racist if he refused to rent to black people in the 70s. Trump probably did something racist if he called all black people lazy in the 90s. You already accepted that Trump probably did something racist with the whole birther movement with Obama. Last thing, do you accept that Donald Trump did something racist when he depicted the Obamas as literal monkeys on Truth Social?
Wasn't that one of his assistants that actually posted that, though?
So Donald Trump said that he sent the video to the assistant to post.
Mm-hmm.
So if he sent the video, and I saw that video too, and we're kind of quickly cut off, wouldn't that be on the assistant for not cutting off that specific part of the video? Because I know it was like one of those.
There's also something that was asked to Trump, and Trump said, no, I send them what I want them to post. And he said that he watched the full video, and it's not on the assistant to cut it up at all. He just sends them what he wants them to post, word for word, frame for frame, video for video. If he didn't want that to be included in the video, well, then he wouldn't have included it in the video that he sent to his assistant. The assistant was just the intermediary between him and Truth Social because he happened to be on a plane at the time, and apparently he had text but no like cellular for apps.
Well, that just sounds lazy, honestly. If anything.
That's Trump. But also, to Dean's point, like he's saying that he saw the whole video. And if he's taking credit for seeing the whole video, then he has to take accountability for the actual end of the video where he depicted the Obamas as apes.
Yeah. Do you agree that it's racist to depict black people as monkeys?
Yes, that's racist, Dean. However, I still don't think, because I don't think he made that video, and just because that little excerpt showed that part, I still don't think that would be indicative of him saying or putting that through. Like,
yeah, what about this?
Snippet.
What about this?
Okay.
What's one thing that Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him as president? One thing.
Let me think. One thing that would stop me from supporting it. It's not even him that I support. So it's
just one thing that Trump could do that would make you, rescind your support for Trump.
Irrefutable treason. Let's go with that.
Irrefutable treason. So if he engaged in an act of volitional treason against America, you'd stop supporting him as president. How do you define treason?
Something directly against the American people, something that would either put us in harm's way or deliberately. I'm talking intentionally.
Okay. January 6th,
yeah.
his fake elector scheme, irrefutable treason. Biden won the election. Donald Trump installed false slates of electorates in 7 different key swing states that Biden had won, with fake votes saying that he had won those states. And then he sent them back to Congress and pressured Mike Pence into certifying them as real. Mike Pence refused to certify them as real. So then his supporters started chanting, hang Mike Pence. That's treason. Now, what about the irrefutable part? The reason why this is irrefutable is because Trump admitted to it in court. And he argued that it was justified to attempt to steal the election because Biden stole it first.
When was this?
This
When was
occurred
January 6th?
on J6 2021. The court proceedings where he admitted to this occurred over the next 2 years before he ultimately won the election after stalling those court proceedings and then dissolved the special counsel led by Jack Smith that was investigating him. It is irrefutable, though, because in the handful of years that he was indicted and that he did have to show up to these court cases, he did admit to doing it. He admitted to doing it. His argument was, and I could even play you a clip of his personal lawyer, Will Scharf, admitting to this. His argument was that he did indeed do it. It is 110% true, but it was a correction to the already rigged election, meaning that it was morally justified, and it was legally justified because he had presidential immunity, meaning he can't be sent to jail for the crimes that he commits.
Would you actually play that for me, please?
I can.
Do you have it available?
I do. This
Thank
is
you.
one of the craziest clips ever. Literally, one of the craziest clips ever. Let's go ahead and listen to this together. Once again, this is Donald Trump's personal attorney that represented him in these court proceedings and still represents him today. His name is Will Scharf. If you go on Google and you look up Will Scharf, it'll say Trump's personal attorney. I'll even show you it so we could take a look at this together.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
Conduct, the immune acts in the indictment are stripped away, that Jack Smith doesn't have a case, that this case should be dismissed on that basis. I don't think there's sufficient private conduct here to support the indictment, to support the ongoing prosecution. And that's what we're going to be litigating in front of the district court now.
Even just the false slates of electors, you don't think that would constitute enough for a trial?
Well, we would say alternate slates of electors. And as we argued before the Supreme Court, alternate slates of electors have been a method used by previous presidents, most notably Ulysses S. Grant, to ensure the integrity of prior elections. So we believe the assembly of those alternate slates of electors was an official act of the presidency. That's what we argued before the Supreme Court.
There you go.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, obviously, I don't seem too well versed in this aspect. I do want to do more research on these because on the basis of it, it, as you said, sounds crazy. I just feel like there's a little bit more that we're missing here and why these things would be. There has to be.
I'm sorry. I've been listening for a long time, and I've heard Dean go through E. Jean Carroll with you. I've heard Dean go through the racism. Now we're going through overthrowing the United States government. And the only thing that I've heard you say is that you want an authoritarian. You've said that you don't know anything about anything. You've actively been looking stuff up in real time. You keep saying, well, I have to go do my research. At this point, what's happening? It seems like you are just you're willfully ignorant and there's no line. And if there's no line, just say there's no line. But there's something happening right here now. I'm completely confused. And it seems like it's a game.
It's definitely not a game. I did want to have a good faith debate. And even Dean at the beginning of this said, hey, I want to try to change your mind. There's a lot of points at the beginning that I did concede to. And as I learned more information and try to verify and try to build an opinion based on what I actually know versus what I don't and what's being given to me now, in real time, I can see why it appears that way. So I apologize, but I promise you in good faith, this is a learning opportunity. I haven't been on a debate stage to this caliber and with someone as articulate as Dean. So I definitely want to take this under my belt, do my research, get more acclimated.
Can I hop in here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so you're saying that you just need to do research about all the things that we've discussed. There's one thing that I can think of that I can give you where you couldn't respond by saying, I need to do further research, because there would be no further research to do on the subject matter. Here's my
Getting
question.
rejected, Dean.
Would you stop supporting Trump as president if you knew with certainty that he was a violent sexual predator?
A violent sexual predator. And this has nothing to do with Eugene Carroll?
No.
Well then, sure.
You would. Okay. Do you accept that a violent sexual predator is somebody who engages in sexual violence?
That would be definitive, yeah.
Do you accept that sexual violence would be any sexual conduct that is unconsensual?
Yeah.
Do you accept that an example of sexual conduct that is unconsensual would be a man barging into a woman's dressing room to seek out the naked bodies of women and girls to look at them unconsensually?
So,
is that sexual
what
conduct?
evidence? When you say barge in, what do you...
It's just
what-
a yes or no question.
By barge, I mean went in without consent.
Without
We're just
consent.
trying to set a baseline. Yep, just trying to set a baseline.
I know where he's going with this. Then sure, on the basis of that statement alone, yes.
Okay. So you said that you'd stop supporting Trump as president if he was a violent sexual predator. Then you said if somebody is a violent sexual predator if they engage in sexual violence. You accepted that the definition of sexual violence is any sexual conduct that's unconsensual. And then you accepted it would be sexual conduct that's unconsensual for a man to barge in without consent into a woman's dressing room to then look at the naked people inside of that space. Here's Donald Trump admitting to barging into a woman's dressing room and looking at the naked people inside of that space, making him guilty of sexual violence, making him guilty of being a violent sexual predator per our prior 3 agreements.
Are you going to play that Howie clip?
So you have done that.
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Before you respond or say anything, and I know Dean has some more he's about to add, but I want you to think about what it means to do rape apologia. So please keep that in mind. Please keep in mind what it actually looks like to do rape apologia. Dean, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, actually, I was going to just say something similar. I've learned in the past that actually giving the guest a moment to think about what they just heard and how they want to respond compared to just giving a knee-jerk reaction of denial because they happen to be on a live stream about debate and they're a Trump supporter is usually really helpful. So I'm actually just going to catch up on my donations. This will probably give you around a minute or so, just kind of think about that clip, really consume the fact that in that clip, Donald Trump said that he'd go into space where no men were anywhere, where there were just a bunch of naked women changing backstage, okay? That he broke a rule by entering into because at the end of the clip he said he got away with it, that he had abused his position of power as the owner of the pageant and tell a lie, doing a false inspection in order to get into. So we know it's a dressing room, and then he would look at their naked bodies and they quote unquote looked incredible. Okay, just consider that all while I catch up on donations here. This came in from Andrea, literally 9 seconds ago on Venmo. Thank you so much for the $50, Andrea. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 Andrea W's. That is Andrea. Thank you so much. Andrea with the $50 says, me and my partner got married this past Saturday. We listen to you all the time. It's only our first time listening in for a few days because of all the wedding things. Wanted to share some love with you, your girlfriend, and Momo. Well, that is so exciting, Andrea. I hope that you and your partner live a very happy life and enjoy your marriage. That is super duper cool. Really huge, major congratulations on the marriage, Andrea. And thank you so much for the love and support. Peter, thank you for the $40 on Venmo, who says Trump changed the names of his military bases to Confederate generals. It absolutely blows my mind how people try so damn hard to justify his blatant racism. I could not agree more, my friend. Jenny with the $10 says, my girlfriend Ezra says this is for your girlfriend. That will definitely go to my girlfriend. Thank you for the $10, Jenny. Shout out to your girlfriend Ezra. Will, thank you so much for the $25. Let's get 250 Will W's, who sent $25, who says, Dean, I've seen a lot of you on my FYP and just started watching your lives every day for the last week, and I truly love what you do. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, Will. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome. Peyton, thank you for the $5. And Mr. Joseph, thank you for the $50, who says, hearing you talk about this stuff reminded me about surging attempted murder 6 years ago. Really excited to hear you finish that convo from yesterday with the guests. Well, Joseph, looks like you came in at a great time. Maybe there was a typo in your message there because I don't understand surging attempted murder, but I do appreciate you for the $50. Andrea, thank you for the $20, who says, do you think that we could vote our way out of this? I think that we can vote our way out of this as long as people actually vote, okay? And it's going to require the support of a lot of Americans. Liliana, thank you for the $7, who says, love watching your lives. And Wesley, thank you for the $5. You guys are awesome. Over on PayPal, Spice of Life, thank you so much much for the $45. Thank you so much, Spice of Life. Let's get 500 Spice of Life W's. That is a very kind donation. Thank you for supporting me in the stream, and it's good to see you, by the way. It says, Dean, though I'm not religious, I'd strongly recommend Democrats start owning the "What would Jesus do" message, positioning themselves as the true servants Jesus would approve, and on abortion, frame it clearly as a personal choice left between a woman and her God through prayer. Repeat, repeat. Well, what I will say here, Spice of Life, is that I think that would be really good messaging for specifically Democrats in very Christian areas. Like, I actually appreciate the fact that Tallarico talks about how he's a Christian and he used to be a pastor, and he uses that as a part of his branding, because that is required to win over enough of that independent, moderate, and conservative vote to win in those areas. So that's actually not terrible. That's not terrible advice. Jennifer, thank you for the $10. Who says, Dean, thank you for your progressive advocacy. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for the love. Winter, thank you for the $10. Who says, just want to say I have so much respect for you and your patience. Thank you, Winter. Sebastian, thank you for the $3. And Rashawn, thank you for the $5. We're caught up on PayPal. We're caught up on Venmo. We're about ready to pass the mic back to this guest. On Super Chat, thank you, Monch for the $20. Who says, she is not what the culture's feeling. No, Kendrick. Holy, it's embarrassing the way Trump has infested even the marginalized communities by lying until it's believed. Auntie would be ashamed. In quotation marks, I mix and I see this IRL 24/7. Well, I appreciate you for your input, and I appreciate you for the $20. Delta Hero with the $10 says, so you could get YouTube Premium and evade the ads. Bro, I need YouTube Premium. I don't know why I don't have it. I'm such an idiot, dude. Lord Junk, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate you so much. Destiny, thank you for the $10. Thank you. And then Munch with another $50, who says, from the DNC to one Mr. Dean Whiskers, keep grifting, baby. Let's go. We're keeping the grift alive today, Munch. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much. As well as T, thank you for the $50, who says, she's defending a version of the Republican Party that no longer exists. If those traditional Republican values are truly her values, today's GOP should be the first thing that she's condemning. I could not agree with you more. Traditional Republicans hate the GOP today. 110%. This is why Mitt Romney endorsed Kamala Harris, bro. Thank you so much for the $50, T. Let's get 500 TWs. As well as Anissa with the $20, who says, what happens when that authoritarianism that she likes so much starts going after women, BIPOCs, etc.? You can't pick and choose what authoritarian options you want. We can't have tyranny a la carte. Be for real. Really good message. And then Leslie with the $20 says, took a massive break from the news and the live streams, but glad to be back and watching. Keep cooking, Dean. I appreciate you, Leslie. I know that you've been watching for forever. Know that I really appreciate you. And the dude Mama with the $20 says, for the best grifter. Thank you for supporting the grift, dude Mama. And we are all caught up. If you're watching and you want to support what we do, you want to support the broadcast, you want to support the show, you can through the link tree in my bio and my TikTok account. You can find a link to my Venmo and my PayPal. If you don't want to use the link or the link isn't working, you could also find the handle at the top of my phone screen on TikTok. Just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in Withers. It's also in the pin message on YouTube. Just genuinely do quadruple check the spelling of the handle, because there are a bunch of fake scam accounts out there pretending to be me. We are all caught up and we're ready to rock and roll here. So Gigi, before I started thanking the donors, what I did is I asked you if you would still support Trump as president, if you knew for certain he was a violent sexual predator. And then I asked you if we could agree what makes somebody a violent sexual predator is being guilty of sexual violence. I don't like seafood. Thank you for the into the stadium. You've been so kind to me today. And then you said yes. And then I asked you if you agree that sexual violence is any sexual conduct that's unconsensual, and you said yes. And then I asked you if a man barging into a woman's dressing room to unconsensually look at the naked women inside was a sexual act that was unconsensual, and you said yes. Okay, what this means is that if Donald Trump barged into a woman's dressing room to look at the naked women inside unconsensually, that'd mean he's guilty of sexual conduct that's unconsensual, meaning that he's guilty of sexual violence, meaning that he is a violent sexual predator. And then I played you a clip of Donald Trump where in the clip he says that he would go backstage, he would abuse the fact that he's the owner, he would tell a lie about doing a false inspection, he'd then go into the space where no men were anywhere, just a bunch of naked women changing, that he broke a rule by entering because he quote-unquote got away with it, meaning that he went into a woman's dressing room and saw a bunch of naked women inside, meaning that he is a violent sexual predator for all the reasons that we just listed, meaning that you would stop supporting him as president. You have the mic at the floor for literally as long as you want on this point. Go for it.
So from what I know about Trump and his pageants, right? And before I get anything, I want to do this in good faith. Hear me out. Good faith. I don't want any twisting or nothing. All right. I know that he owned both of the pageants. I know the Teen USA and also the adult division. So from what I heard in that clip, I know that show. I know it I know a lot of that is exaggerated just for like the clicks and the views, just like any other influencer these times would do. There's no indication of that in that clip. I know the girls' chaperones instructed the girls to get dressed at that time and said they would never let anything crazy happen. And it wouldn't make any logical sense for the girls to be completely alone either. Like the makeup artists or the chaperones themselves, dressing assistants, anyone involved to get that show ready. And it would make logical sense to me as Trump being the owner, wanting to make sure, I think it was during the dress rehearsals too. So when time's crunched, you want to make sure everything's running smoothly. You're going to do your checks. You're going to walk in and make sure everyone's good. And of course, you're walking in, they already know what to expect. When it comes to an entire show group of girls, would it not make sense that the people, I had a little saying, auditing the area to make sure the girls are prepped and ready, the stage is ready, the judges are ready, going around and making sure, I don't think that would qualify as sexual predator without the intent to go in there and say, hey, I'm going to touch these girls. They're all going to fawn over me, except for the exaggeration of a show. And again, in that clip,
you just used the word fawn. You just said it wouldn't make sense that Donald Trump had this intention to go in there and look at their naked bodies and have them fawn all over him.
Maybe it's time
I know
to
he
explore.
said,
Right, to fawn all over him.
And honestly, yes, I get that him being a billionaire would be one of the driving factors for anyone to go after him. Like, oh my God, he has all this money. He's literally owner. I want to make a good impression. Oh, please do.
Okay, so this is of Miss Arizona. Her name's Tasha Dixon. She was Miss USA in 2001. So what you just said is that, because of all this commotion back there, maybe he did go back there, but not with an intention to have them fawn all over him or anything, but just to keep running the show. So I'm actually going to play you this clip of testimony from Miss USA 2001 Tasha Dixon. Take a listen.
For 19 years.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis. To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him.
And Dixon.
It's just funny because in that statement you're like, oh, I don't think he did this so they would fawn all over him. When Miss Arizona in an interview literally said that he did this so they would fawn all over him.
Now,
I've heard
Miss
the
Arizona,
word fawn used 2 times.
Yes.
By her talking about Trump.
Yeah.
And by you talking about what Trump wouldn't do. Really funny.
Okay. Miss Arizona, wasn't that interview 15 years after the fact? I think it was like a couple months prior to the 2016 election, wasn't it? And obviously, I don't want to diminish anyone's experience, but I do find it a little bit kind of the motive there might have been, or maybe she was paid off in a way right before that election. It's just too
The reason
convenient.
it was right before it's not convenient at all, and it's very explainable. It's very, very, very explainable. The media only started to care about Donald Trump's prior transgressions upon the consent of women and girls when Donald Trump became political. And that's a bad thing. That's a thing that we need to change. Okay? The media, for the most part, doesn't give a fuck when rich and powerful men do really terrible shit unless those rich and powerful men are directly involved in American politics. And the moment he became directly involved in American politics was the moment the media started caring. That's an issue with the media, 110%, but it definitely explains why all of these women started giving public interviews right before the election, because that's the first time these institutions of journalism and these media conglomerates were even willing to offer them the public interviews in the first place.
And I think that's important to call out. The media entities started seeking out these women after these reports started to surface. So it's not like this was someone that was disgruntled that came out and said, let me tell you about Trump. Literally, she was content living her life, and this came out, and so they wanted to get more information, and so she went on record. This wasn't a smear campaign towards Trump. This is literally someone telling what happened.
Yeah, and it just completely corroborates what Trump admitted to. And let's not leave that part out, you know? We're not just talking about the testimony of one woman. We're talking about the testimony of like 10, because I could also give you references from other interviews done, such as Mariah Bellato in 1997, who said that Trump did the same thing to her, that corroborate Trump's admission of guilt. we can't like glaze over the fact that Trump said he did this.
So I think BuzzFeed also covered this in 2016 too. And I believe from reading that article, they didn't find him criminally liable for that either. And BuzzFeed definitely does not like Trump.
There was never a court case. BuzzFeed only covered it because this was something that was pressing in the news. And so they offered the interview. Rape apologia. I'm just going to repeat that again. Literally rape apologia. Go ahead, Dean.
Well, go ahead, Gigi. I want to allow you a chance to speak.
I really don't think in good faith is fair to say rape apology when I'm just genuinely questioning the validity, not questioning the validity of her statements. Obviously, you can have your experience and anyone can feel the way they feel. If she felt disrespected, if she felt unfair, then okay, that's fair. But I'm just saying, again, the timing of it is questionable. 15 years later, right before the election, I can understand the motive of the media doing that and putting those girls in that position to reframe that and put their stories out right before. So obviously someone had the motive right at the election times. And maybe if it's not the intention of the women, that's definitely the intention of the media. And I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I just want to say sorry, go ahead, Dean.
No, go ahead, Satana.
I was just going to say, to be clear, I didn't say rape apology. I said apologia. Like the rhetoric that you're spewing is the coverage that allows people like Donald Trump, overwhelmingly rich, powerful white men, to get away with all the things that they want to do. That's why there's been such a hard time getting the Epstein files released. That's why you saw the Me Too movement. That's why you see like women being like looked at as less than. It's literally because of rape apologia. When someone comes out and says that I was a victim, then the things that come to people's mind is, well, what was she wearing? Why were you there? What were you doing? Those type of things are rape apologia that gives coverage for predators. And so you sitting here saying, well, I just think this was that or this was that. You're literally giving coverage for people like Donald Trump, who Dean played it for you, openly admitted it out of his mouth. That was his intention. And even if you're saying that it was just him being kind of salacious or whatever, like, who brags about sexual assault? Like, legitimately, who brags about sexual assault? What type of flex is that?
And Francisco and Malik, I appreciate you both for the $5 donations on PayPal. I read both of your messages. I appreciate y'all both greatly. Show some love to Malik and Francisco down below.
And Jay, thank you for the 2. Sharika, thank you for the 10. Ashley, thank you for the 10. And Gabby, thank you for the 1.
Obviously, I am not for anyone being in harm's way, but I do think it's fair criticism, at the very least, on the media's front by selecting this specific instance to defame Donald Trump during his elections.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
And again,
you're shifting the goalposts of the conversation. The goalpost of the conversation isn't, was the intention of the media to hold a sexual predator accountable or to attack a political opponent? No. The debate is about, is Donald Trump a violent sexual predator because Donald Trump barged into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls? So
that should have been done 15 years ago too.
By talking about what you think the intention of the media was and fostering those interviews before he ran for president, that's just completely unconcerned to the claim that he's a violent sexual predator. And you just responded by saying, oh, well, those interviews should have been done 15 years before. I agree with you. The media should care about all rich and powerful people assaulting and abusing women and girls, even when they're not directly in politics. And that's a big issue. That's the issue that Santana just spoke at length about. Okay, it's enabled by rape apologia. But also not the topic of the debate. The topic of the debate should the media be more virtuous and platform the voices of victims of sexual violence, even when the perpetuator said sexual violence isn't the president. The topic of the debate is Donald Trump a sexual predator? So let's stick on that topic of the debate about, is Donald Trump a sexual predator? Do you feel like we've given you a sufficient account to justify the claim that he is by playing you a clip of him admitting to being one and then giving you evidence of multiple independent interviews with various women and girls that never met one another, that competed at different pageants in different years, all telling the same story, which was in corroboration of what he admitted to Howard Stern? Have we given you sufficient evidence?
You know what? I'll say sure. The evidence he provided makes sense when you put it into that context. I don't think it's evil of me to question the motives and also the nature of social media, regardless of the time period and things being overinflated, to question not the validity of the women, but the intention of what's going on. And if we put everything on a blanket statement saying this is because of one thing, it's hard to track. And I think that's also fair to say.
Okay, so you're not a Trump supporter anymore.
Okay, Dave.
Why
I was
are you
never
laughing?
a Trump specific supporter. I was never a specific Trump supporter.
Well, I mean, you said that you would stop supporting Trump as president if Donald Trump was a violent sexual predator. You then accepted that he would be a violent sexual predator if he engaged in unconsensual sexual conduct. You then accepted that him barging into the dressing rooms would be unconsensual sexual conduct. You just conceded that he did barge into the dressing rooms, which means he did engage in unconsensual sexual conduct, which means he is a violent sexual predator because he engaged in sexual violence. And because you just affirmed that he is a violent sexual predator, you therefore don't support him as president.
I do remember.
Also, just to add that on really quickly, Dean covered to you how Donald Trump is the head of the party. So stop hiding behind, well, I don't support Trump, I support the party. He's already clearly articulated how Donald Trump is literally the head and the guiding force behind the party. So you can't say that you support the party without supporting Trump. That's not a thing.
So here's the thing, and I do remember reading about this too, that the chaperone in charge of the girls in the dressing room was telling them, hey, get dressed, get ready, he's coming, get prepared. And so they did, and he walked in. And I also remember reading
Trump said that the people inside of the space didn't have clothes on. He said that in the clip.
Now, when you say, I think you also, did you, correct me if I'm wrong, mention that he was a pedophile or something like that along the lines in regards to the pageant?
Can you stick to where we are with the sexual?
The argument is very clear, and Santana's right to stick to where we're at. The argument is so clear. If Donald Trump was a violent sexual predator, then Gigi would stop supporting Trump as president. Donald Trump would be a violent sexual predator if he engaged in sexual violence. Sexual violence is any sexual conduct that's unconsensual. An example of sexual conduct that's unconsensual is Donald Trump barging into these dressing rooms and looking at the naked people inside. Donald Trump did barge inside of these dressing rooms and look at the naked people inside, meaning that Donald Trump engaged in unconsensual sexual conduct, making Trump guilty of sexual violence, meaning Trump is a violent sexual predator. That's the argument, premise by premise, broken down into a very clear and simple syllogism.
Where in the clip did it say that they were naked explicitly?
At 2 minutes and 55 seconds. I have that memorized.
You play that one more time?
Actually, no, I'm so sorry. 1 minute and 55 seconds. Yeah, sure.
Therefore, I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible.
There you go.
Where did the word naked? I didn't hear that.
Oh, when he said that they didn't have any clothes on, and Howard Stern made a joke about him being like a doctor because doctors get to see naked people.
So no clothes. I know. Don't they do the bikini pageants as well? Would that, in this sense, especially if you're having the bikini segment of these pageants?
If you have on bikinis, do you have on clothes?
It depends on who you ask, really.
I mean, I also just think that's pretty. I don't know why she's mentioning bikini beauty pageants because if it's a bikini, if it's at a bikini beauty pageant, which many of them were. Well, I just think this is really inconvenient for you because at a bikini beauty pageant, which many were. Okay. I mean, this proves that there would have been naked people in the dressing rooms because in order to get changed into a bikini, you first have to get naked.
So because he there's many about doctors,
there's many other garments. There's many other clothes that you could get changed into without first getting completely naked. Okay. Like jeans and a t-shirt, maybe you could keep your bra and your panties on, right? But no, when you're getting changed into a bikini for a bikini pageant, a necessary step of getting changed into that bikini is fully taking all of your clothes off, meaning that there absolutely would have been people with no clothes or people that were naked in those dressing rooms.
Also, I just want to be very clear. A bikini is an article of clothing. If you say no clothes, then that doesn't mean no clothes except a bikini. It's an article of clothing. You're being disingenuous.
And disingenuous as saying when you play that clip and they're overinflating the situations like guys in a locker room talk, it's clearly that type of banter. That's why
I don't think that there's anything here being overinflated. He said that they had no clothes on. We would expect fully naked people in dressing rooms for bikini pageants, the same way you see fully naked people in dressing rooms for public pools. Like, can you
So
agree
you're telling-
that in a locker room at a public pool that you will expect to see fully naked people inside of that locker room?
In a locker room, like a public locker room?
Yeah, like a locker room, a dressing room, and a public pool.
At a public pool? No, I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of covering, either a drape or some kind of door like you would see at the beach.
Maybe it's just where I live because I live in more like rural
Probably.
parts. But like,
Unless you got like a nude beach over there. I don't know. I've never been to one.
Sometimes I like to go to the Uray Hot Springs. That's in Colorado. It's a natural hot springs. And when you go into the dressing rooms, I mean, there's just naked people everywhere, right? Because it's a general locker room for men, and there's a bunch of naked men. Because a step of changing into, men's swim trunks is first taking your pants off, taking your shirt off, and taking your underwear off. So you're fully in the nude, and then you put the swim trunks on. Okay, so something similar goes for women. Okay, a step of changing into a bikini is taking your shirt off, taking your bra off, taking your pants and your underwear off. You're fully in the nude. Okay, and then you put your bikini top and your bikini bottom on. Okay, so when people are getting changed into swimwear, a very common and in many circumstances a necessary step of getting changed into that swimwear is first being fully in the nude. So, like, because we know Donald Trump operated some of these pageants as bikini pageants, and Tasha Dixon, in fact, said that she was at a bikini pageant when Donald Trump barged into her dressing room. Yeah, like those women literally had no clothes on, like literally.
Again, just to highlight, who brags about sexual violence?
Who's that guy, that one influencer? Oh my God, that dude, bro. Somebody. Oh my gosh. Who's that guy that openly admitted having... never mind. That's fine.
Do you accept that a necessary step of changing into a bikini is being fully nude?
Yes, but at what's...
Like, I just hate that
what stage specifically?
It's just crazy that I'm explaining this to, like, an adult, Okay, so you do accept that that's a necessary step of being fully nude. Okay, so therefore, like, in a dressing room...
Not in this context, though.
Why not in this context? Why?
Again, it's clearly just male locker room banter. There's no way, especially, I feel like BuzzFeed especially would have reported that if they were actually nude. There would have been more accounts of, hey, I was fully nude, showing it where.
Mariah Bellato, Miss Teen USA 1997, said that she was naked in a BuzzFeed interview conducted in 2015. Same thing with the clip that we played of Tasha Dixon, where she said that we were fully nude, or partly nude, because some women hadn't put on any part of their bikini yet, and maybe some other women put on just the top or just the bottom, because there's a bunch of women all going through this similar process of putting a bikini on. And your response is to say, oh, it's just like clearly like locker room talk. How do you know that? Considering the fact that it's very realistic, a very realistic outcome of walking into a dressing area for a public pool or really any place where you're putting bikinis and swim trunks on is to see naked people. Okay, well, maybe it's not men's locker room talk, because you would naturally expect to see that in the place Donald Trump said he went into. And that's what a shit ton of the women and girls said.
Also, I just want to highlight the fact that I'm 39 years old, and I've been in a lot of locker rooms. And the idea that that's, just men's locker room talk, that's not a thing. That's literally not a thing. Shitty guys say shitty stuff when they feel comfortable around other shitty guys. Donald Trump was in a shitty situation with Howard Stern. He felt comfortable to be shitty, and so he said the shitty stuff that was on his mind. It's not locker room talk. It's not boys will be boys. It's literally him feeling so comfortable that he could just say the shit like he wanted to say it, and he didn't have to sugarcoat, he didn't have to pretend, he didn't have to run, he didn't have to lie. He just said what he said. So you sitting here pretending like, oh, well, he was just joking, it was just locker room talk, oh, boys will be boys. No, Donald Trump said what he meant, and you are trying to whitewash it.
Also, the last point I'm going to make here before the mic and the floor are yours, Gigi, is that even if we accept that this was just all locker room talk, just jokes, okay, so this means that, like, Donald Trump thinks that sexually exploiting women is just jokes. Okay, infringing on a woman's consent is just jokes. Okay, taking advantage of a woman is just a joke. You know who else thinks that it's just a joke to take advantage of women? People who take advantage of women. And given the fact
Fucking
that
rapists.
Donald Trump, under your view, thought it was a joke to take advantage of women, and he had the opportunity to take advantage of women, he actually owned those pageants, then he probably did take advantage of women, leading us straight back into the point me and Santana are making, that he was being dead serious, as corroborated by the accounts of the victims.
Oh, prior to that clip, right? I think right before Trump had chimed in, it was cut off right perfectly. I believe Howard was saying something along the lines of, in an accent too, again, which ties into the banter talk. Oh, let me do something with my vagina, Mr. Trump, da 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 da. Playing into that, oh, you're so rich and powerful, let me greet you with my vagina. And then they're laughing about it. And then Trump goes into that. And again, for the premise of the show, it's over the top. And I know his type of show. I've seen other clips of that show before. That's just the basis of it. It's meant to be crude. It's that type of humor. And especially at the time that that clip was made, that's just how humor was back then. Obviously, now we're doing.
No. I watched those episodes live. Again, 39.
Live.
I watched those lives, and it wasn't about, just, yes, there's an entertainment element to it, but the fact of the matter is, it was about making people comfortable to actually talk about things that they wouldn't talk about normally. That was the point of Howard Stern.
Yeah, also, it's like before the context before that part of the clip that I started to play, it was Howard Stern asking Trump if he had ever had sex with any of the beauty pageant contestants. And Howard Stern's like, oh, do they greet you with their vaginas? Ooh, is there a conflict of interest? Like this aspect of shock jockiness that we're referring to. And then Donald Trump was like, well, what I do is I sexually exploit them.
Now, how is that not a play into the show saying, well, for, the premise of the show? No, but what I actually do is, as part of my title as the owner of this pageant, part of my job is to inspect every area and facility of the facility, which happens to be the pageant rooms. But again, overplayed for the sensationalism of the show. I can see that being the case.
I think the way it was overplayed for the sensation of the show was by Howard Stern's comment that he was like a doctor, or by Trump's comment that he was doing an inspection. That was the overplaying of real events that actually occurred. But the underlying real events that actually occurred was Trump going into the dressing rooms and looking at them while they were naked. And we have more evidence than even just that clip. Think about this. A really big second piece of evidence that Trump was being dead serious when he said he'd sexually take advantage of women in their dressing rooms is the fact that 18 years after he said that on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005, in 2023, a court found him guilty of raping a woman in a dressing room.
Who are you referring to?
E. Jean Carroll, the case that we talked about earlier. Now they found him guilty of raping her. Did you know that they found him guilty of raping her specifically in a dressing room?
Was it a dressing room?
Yes, it was a dressing room at a retail store. So it's like, let's just be clear here. 18 years ago, Trump admits to sexually taking advantage of women in their dressing rooms. I say he wasn't joking because all of the women said that he wasn't joking. And then 18 years later, he was found guilty for raping an entirely different woman in an entirely different dressing room. So clearly, he has had this disposition for taking advantage of women in dressing rooms for a very long time now.
Also, I just want to highlight, this is indicative of Trump's character. I'm going to take Greenland. We're going to take Cuba. We're going to take the election. Like, everything about him highlights and goes back to that very moment. And this is something that Donald Trump has been consistent and persistent about his entire life, and who he is as a person. Like, everything about him is taking what he wants.
So when you say take Greenland, weren't other countries also trying to occupy Greenland?
Don't focus on that. Don't focus on that. Please don't focus on that. Focus on the point, which is it's indicative of his character. He has multiple instances of doing the exact same thing. Even the divorce decree with his ex-wife, he literally, in the divorce decree, it said that he raped her, pulled out her hair, and then the next day came back and asked, did it hurt? he has a history of taking.
A history of taking.
But I really don't want my point to be understated. That he was kind of found guilty for raping a woman in a dressing room.
Yes.
So maybe he wasn't joking when he said he'd sexually exploit other
Yes.
women in dressing rooms.
Okay, Dean.
That's like a really like common sense point, right? Like think about it this way. You grow up with some guy and he starts like making comments about how he like kills and dissects random animals and you laugh it off because you think he's joking. But then like 20 years in the future, he's found guilty of being a serial killer. Okay, like maybe he wasn't joking when like growing up he'd tell you that he'd kill and dissect random animals. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like him killing and dissecting random animals as a kid definitely lines up with him being convicted of being a serial killer 20 years in the future. Just like Trump sexually exploiting women in dressing rooms as a younger adult perfectly explains him getting more confident and comfortable in raping women in dressing rooms as an older adult.
You know what? I'll go ahead and concede to your point, Dean.
There's just no way not to. I understand that you have been programmed into, I'm going to be honest with you, cult-like behaviors by something in your life. And the thing is it happens all the time. It happens in politics. Right now, okay, it's happening a lot on the right. It's definitely happened on the left too. I mean, ask a leftist about how they think about establishment liberals and their inability to critique Obama at all, you know, at the cult-like behaviors. It happens even out of the realm of politics. I mean, how many people could we think of throughout history that have just held these terrible, terrible convictions and they're immune to like any disagreement or pushback in the slightest? Okay, because we as humans unfortunately have this natural disposition to cognitive dissonance because our brain isn't designed to seek intellect. Our brain is designed to seek comfortability. And more often than not, comfortability isn't found in actually being right. Comfortability is found in thinking that you're right. And your brain wants you to think that you're right even when all the evidence says you're wrong. But now that you've conceded and you've agreed, does this mean that we have changed your mind? Because you said if he was a violent sexual predator, there's just like no way you could support this guy as president. Like we should just be able to fundamentally agree that violent sexual predators have no place in public office because A, predators shouldn't have power over their prey. B, because he's a violent sexual predator, he should be in jail in life. So why the hell are we giving him the most powerful position available to any human alive? And C, because a necessary prerequisite of being in public office is to be a public servant, which means you have to care about other people. But on the other hand, a necessary prerequisite of being a violent sexual predator is not caring about other people. So there's just a simple incompatibility with sexual predators being in public office, all of the moral concerns of their sexual predation put aside. So, like, can we finally agree here that Trump should not be president?
Sure.
I don't know if you mean that genuinely, or you're just saying this because you feel as if there's no other option. But what I would like you to keep in mind is that if you are just saying this because there's no other option, the reason why there's no other option is because we're right, which should hopefully, at a point in the future, be able to lead you to believing that genuinely.
Let me add one more cherry on top of all of this, and even if you're being kind of disingenuous, hopefully this will push you over the edge. If you're still facing, you know, that amygdala response, which it seems like you are, let me push this. Through the House, they just passed a piece of legislation that's going to extend the actual military budget funding. And a major portion of the military funding is going to be the entanglement of the United States military supply chain with the Israeli supply chain. The United States military is funding and directly connected with Israel and their supply chain, and this is backed by the Republicans. So even if what we said about Donald Trump doesn't land, understanding that Donald Trump and the Republican as a whole are pushing the well-being of the Israeli government at the same time as all of this other stuff, this has to be enough for you to get off of the Republican side.
Not necessarily. However, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, we could talk about the entanglement with the Israeli government later, because that's just like, I'm sorry, Santana, like that could just a complete
All
like
good.
180 detour
Yeah.
from like everything else we've been talking about. And I'd like to leave room for that cherry on top, maybe after she could respond and digest like the last hour of conversation. But you know, I'm not saying that to invalidate you or your point at all. And I would love for her to respond to that maybe before she leaves, but I would first like, you know, maybe her to digest and respond to everything else before she responds to that. So kind of just like put that one on the back burner until you address what's, you know, on the front of the grill. But as soon as you address what's on the front of the grill, bring that off the back burner.
Mm-hmm. So, can you repeat the last point before we got with Santana?
Oh, just that you said sure that you don't want
that.
Trump to be president, and I said I don't know if you mean that genuinely or not, but if you don't mean that genuinely, just know that therefore the reason why you seem to be forced into saying that is because it's because we're right, and hopefully that would lead you to believe that genuinely one day.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's because you guys are right. I'm back into a corner. I just feel like there are more things and there's more context from the opposition that I want to look into before I completely change my mind, because I think it would be kind of foolhardy to not do all of that research before saying, you know what, let me go ahead and just throw it on the table. I'm like, you're right, I'm a Democrat now, when fundamentally that's not what really I believe. And in fact, it was, and when I came on yesterday, even though I was like, blah, 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 it was because of the left that I went to the right. And so to go back on the foundation that I found now from my previous experiences on the left, it would just be disingenuous, and I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, we're not asking you to go on the left. We're just asking you to acknowledge that Trump shouldn't be president.
There are other people I'd be in favor for having being in president. I do like Marco Rubio right now.
So do you stand by that acknowledgement or not?
I would say I would need more evidence, more research. And yes, Santana, start laughing, haha. But I think there's a lot more context that's missing for me to go ahead and concede an entire point to say this one man.
All right, Gigi.
Sure.
I'm done with this conversation. I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay?
All right. Oh, one request before you do.
No, absolutely not.
Will you please tell your fans to stop sending me death threats? That would be very helpful. Thank you.
A request can be made. Please stop sending Gigi death threats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry that I didn't let her respond to your.
No, all good. All good. I thought I was driving. I thought that because I heard the content earlier with Israel, and I thought that would be like a whammy. I thought that she was willing to actually double down. She was bad faith the whole time.
Man, holy fuck! I'm exhausted after that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted as hell.
The only thing that I can think of, the only thing after like before I joined, while I was listening, while I was here, the only thing that I heard her say that would make me think that for some reason, like she's sticking to this, is what she said at the very beginning, Dean. What made me I was literally out, and when she said it, I was like, I'm going home. When she said she wants an authoritarian, that's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing that makes what she has done for this last hour make sense, is the fact that she said she wants an authoritarian.
Yeah, and I mean, like, listen, I'll say that she was much more polite, much more respectful, and much more, like, innately intelligent than a lot of the Trump supporters that we bring up on this live stream. But think about it. How many of her self-interests have to be jeopardized in order for her to support Trump as a black woman? Many, 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 many of them. Which means she has to be very far down that rabbit hole of cult-like behaviors. And I think we saw the culmination of those efforts at the end of that conversation. Bree, welcome in. In the comment section, you said that we're gift farming.
No, she was gift farming.
Oh.
Not you.
Maybe true.
She was gift farming.
Maybe true.
Yeah.
I brought you up. I brought you up to see if you were not.
I just want to call out, like, benevolence does not give, like, credence to any of the fucked up shit that she said. Like, being kind and gentle and, like, the fucked up shit that she said, especially, like, benevolence, rape apologia, it doesn't change that it's rape apologia. Also, chat, lock the fuck in. Don't send people death threats. Like, they suck, but, like, they're not worth that. Don't do that.
We're going to go ahead and hop back into the debates. For everybody inside of the queue, if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, go ahead and hop inside of that queue for me, everybody. Also, guys, if you want to support the stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio and my TikTok account, pin message on that YouTube stream, as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. Best way to ask a question or to get a message across, and just generally the best way to support us so we can continue to do this for 4 hours, 7 days a week. That's right. Welcome in, Chill Z. Do you support
And
Trump?
pay for therapy.
Yeah, for real. Chill Z, do you support Trump? Chilsy's not here. Let's go to get the next guest up here. Isabel, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says it's unfortunately never surprising when a man defends a man's behavior, but it hits different when a woman defends a man's behavior. Honestly, Isabel, I used to be surprised by it. Anymore, I'm not. I'm not surprised by it in the slightest.
Really?
No, I'm just not. I'm just not surprised by it. Like I've seen it so many times, and frankly, I don't know what the reason for this is. And this might even be a little bit controversial. But the women that I've had come up here that are already Trump supporters and defend that bad behavior have like said crazier shit than men on average. And it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but but it is true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. If you take an average of the women Trump supporters that have joined my live stream and responded to Donald Trump's bad attitudes, behaviors, and actions, compared to the average of the same thing for men, for whatever reason, the women have said crazier shit.
I feel like it's been an uptick since your Jubilee. Or maybe I've just been paying more attention to it since I watched your Jubilee. But, like, ever since then, I've noticed it more, and it's disheartening.
Yeah. I mean, well, the first thing I think we have to recognize here is maybe the reason why that's true is because of selection bias. It's going to take a man a lot less in order to defend Donald Trump's sexual violence. A lot less than it would take a woman. So in other words, a man could be less insane to defend another man's sexual violence than like how a woman would have to be more insane than a man to defend a man's sexual violence, because the woman is the victim in the vast majority of scenarios. So because of that, maybe that explains why, like, on average, the women Trump supporters who have joined have ended up saying crazier shit in response to it, because there's just a higher threshold of insanity that has to be met in order for a woman to consider doing that in the first place. And it's just purely explained by selection bias. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go and get that next guest connected. But it's really disheartening. And all this was just a monologue about Isabel's donation. Isabel, I appreciate you for the $10. Let's go ahead and try to get that next guest connected. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. Puss.
Okay. Are you actually a Trump supporter?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're artificially making your deep voice. You're leading me to believe that you're like 14, so I'm going to ban you. Let's go to get the next guest, Claire, connected. Melanie, thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo. I appreciate you. That is Melanie. Melanie with the $20 says, why do they always say they don't really support Trump right before they lay their own bodies on the tracks to defend the indefensible? So embarrassing. So fucking true, Melanie. If they didn't actually really support Trump, okay, they wouldn't be going like the extra mile and a half in order to defend him. You know, like a Republican that doesn't really support Trump would just say, oh yeah, he's really fucked up, and then come up with some bullshit why they still consider themselves a Republican completely unrelated to Trump. They wouldn't spend 2 hours defending everything that Trump has ever done. As well as Amber with the $10, who says, why can't she just believe who Donald Trump is saying he is? Dude, so real. So many people struggle with that, Amber. Thank you for the $10. Lily and V, I appreciate y'all both for the $5. And then Sonia, thank you so much for the $15, who says, there have been 8 other owners of pageants, and no other owner had walked into a room where a contestant was getting dressed. Well, I appreciate you for the $15. And Ryan, thank you for the $10, who says, I'm happy MAGA is refusing to watch The Odyssey because I work at a theater and I hate dealing with them. Also, you're the GOAT. Yeah, I'm actually not mad about that either, Ryan. It's such a good move movie, and I'm so happy that they refuse to like watch a generationally fantastic production. They're the real losers, really. Melissa, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you. Let's get 100 Melissa W's. And then Joseph, thank you so much for another $10. Oh, and Joseph, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Dang. Yeah, now I understand what you're trying to say with your first donation. We're all caught up on Venmo. Welcome in, Mysterious. Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean. Okay.
Child! Moving on to the next guest over on PayPal, Brianna. Thank you for the $50. You are very, very awesome. That is very, very kind of you. Show some love to Brianna down below in that comment section while we're looking for the next guest. That is very, very kind of you, Brianna. Brianna with a $50 says, hey, Dean, I'm a Canadian nurse that has lived legally in MN for the last 6 years. I watch your debates. Welcome in one moment. I watch your debates every day and can see the exhaustion on your face some days. Go grab a coffee and a snack on me. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Well, I appreciate you, Brianna. I do get exhausted in like, especially like the second half of the stream. But tonight, hey, listen, I'm going to go grab dinner with my grandparents. So that'll be a lot of fun. Something fun to do after the debates. That's why I'm live a little bit earlier. Abriana, that is Abryana, very unique name. Thank you for the $20, who says, I hope I got the right account. You sure did. But wouldn't it be logical to yell into the dressing room to make sure they're decent? Well, yeah, but remember, he was sexually exploiting them. So he definitely would not yell into the dressing room to make sure that they're decent. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
You could just simply look at the middle of the phone screen before you wait in the queue for 2 hours to get kicked in 5 seconds. But, you know, just letting you know. Hey, thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat. Who says, much love and respect to what you're doing, Dean. Keep it the best. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go to get the next guest connected right now. Only do hop inside of the box if you happen to be an adult that says, or that thinks that Donald Trump is a good president. Please and thank you. Looking for some Trump supporters. We got the next guest connecting. Somebody in the comment section. Oh, God.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that somebody in the comment section said Santana's so chill, bro. So true. Santana's so chill.
I'm not. No. I just hold back the crash out. No. I have two really big ones if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Jamie, thank you so much for the $50 donation. Jamie said, for your labor trying to educate the live. Thank you so much. That is fucking crazy. And Ashley, holy shit. Ashley, thank you so much for the $100 donation. You good?
Yeah, I have something stuck in my throat.
No. It's
Go ahead.
LinkedIn.
Go ahead, Santana.
Ashley, thank you so much for the $100 donation. You said Gigi is exhausting for me as a white person, so I imagine she's even more exhausting for you. This donation is because black people labor isn't free. You're right, black people labor is not free. Thank you so much for that, Ashley. It's just more so disappointing. I think as a black woman, that's the part that really got me. But thank you so much. Also, special shout out to Bailey. Thank you so much for the donation. All the other people that sent donations, I'm going to be sending you all personal thank yous directly. So check your messages. But I just want to call those out. Thank you.
User, do you support Trump?
Yeah.
All right, bro. You want to see yourself out, little man?
What?
I said you want to see yourself out? You want to hit that exit button on your own? Like, what are we doing here?
Wait, I have something to say. Please.
No. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. I'd really appreciate that so much. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only do hop inside of the queue if you are here for a debate, everyone. We got the next guest, Liz, loading up inside of the box. We gotta be a little disrespectful to the trolls, guys. Dude, I saw this. I was talking about this yesterday. Isaac Scragg, he does like these talent show things. Saw him on live yesterday with like 50,000 viewers, and he's like a pretty nice guy. So he was like nice to like every single person that was joining his stream. But for that reason, they were just like slapping him around, dude. They were just slapping him around, troll after troll after troll after troll, fucking slapping him around. Okay.
No, you and Parker are way too nice. I don't play about the block. I will block the hell out of them. You guys are way nicer than me, like way nicer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've definitely been getting a little bit more upset. Welcome into Sport Trump, Liz.
Oh,
Banned. Fuck you. Moving on to the next.
What up, Sorsha? I had a guy earlier. Apparently, hey, did you know that the USD is not the symbol for the U.S. currency. Like the money sign is just the symbol for all money in every currency. Doesn't matter what country it is.
No?
I had a guy try to argue me down that the agreement that we made with Iran to send 24 billion wasn't in U.S. dollars. It was going to be transferred over to whatever their currency was. So it was less than 24 billion, but they just used the symbol for USD. But that's not what we were sending them.
Oh, I just banned somebody like that. They sound really annoying.
I had to
Rev
teach them
Tech,
about currency.
Rev Tech, do you support Trump? Rev Tech, you're banned. Guys, only opposite side of the queue if you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Let's try to follow the rules, everybody. Seriously, come on. Try to follow the rules. By the way, Falcon Man and Freddy over on Super Chat. I'm fucking ignoring y'all. You guys are so fucking weird, dude. Like, what the hell's going on?
You do have some weird people.
No, they're like actually weird, bro. They're like actually weird. No, I'm not even trolling. Do you want me to read you some of their back and forth donations? So they're sending me $5, okay, and attaching a message. But then they're just talking to one another. And they're saying, like, dude, Freddy says, I want someone close until they actually get close. Then they do, and suddenly I can't breathe. Then I just want to disappear. Freddy says, I miss him. Bark, 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 bark. Freddy says, one, because I have a boy like you at the Falcon Man. And then the Falcon Man is somebody like totally separate who says, chat, Freddy and me are in love on levels you'll never comprehend.
What?
And then Falcon again says, in all caps, Freddy, bark, bark, bark. And then Freddy says, I fucking love you so much at the Falcon Man. I missed you. Yeah, my darling. Kai. Bark, bark, vark.
No fucking
bark.
way.
Yeah, these are... Y'all. Get it the fuck together, dude. Like, holy shit. You know, like, listen, y'all have like sent what? Like $30 to me today? You know how fucking dirty I'm going to feel the next time I spend $30? That's blood money. That's blood money, motherfucker.
Listen, I've heard of people shooting their shot like in your DM or with the pay links or whatever, but like shooting your shot through someone else's pay links is super weird. That's super weird.
Just can't believe it. Can't believe it. Gerald, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
21. Talk
Wait.
to my friend. He supports Trump.
Oh, it's just 14th Amendment guys again. We're going to get the next guest connected. Only do opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please and thank you. Do make sure that you are following the rules. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got Nicole loading up inside of the box. Chase, Chayce. Thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo, who says women defend men's bad behavior because they weren't allowed to call out bad men in their life and taught it was normal. Therefore, it was deemed as fair that other people do, in my opinion. Yeah, maybe like that's like motive production of internalized misogyny under the patriarchy. I appreciate you for the $20, Chase. Thank you so much for the love. Nicole, do you support Trump?
No, it was accident. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Omar, thank you for the $10. Who says, honestly, from her demeanor, I thought that she was going to change her mind. I thought that she was mostly reasonable. I also think that this marks 2 months of watching you almost daily. I appreciate you for the $10, Omar. Well, I think that she was really good at acting like she was reasonable, you know?
Yep.
Like I said, like the whole time she kept like a pretty like steady, calm, and kind demeanor while like conversing with me and Santana, but like she wasn't actually.
That was the benevolence. That's
Yeah.
all it was, just the benevolence.
Yeah, but she was like, dude, listen, like if I like randomly came across her in like public or something, so on and so forth, and didn't talk about politics with her, I'd probably think that she's, you know, like a great person, like super inviting, super friendly, super kind. But wow, you know, like that actually makes me like curious. Like, how many friends does she have that she's never talked about politics with? You know?
Yeah, and then they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and like, and then they start talking about politics, and then they hear what she had to share with us. Like, dang, Welcome in, Jack. Do you support Trump?
I'm a female, and
I kicked you. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult, guys. This is too much. Come on. Marley, thank you for the $10 as well on Venmo. I appreciate you so much. I'm so happy that we've been able to inspire you, Marley. Thank you so much.
My name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud.
Emily, thank you for the $15. Who says, thank you for all the work that you do. Your streams always make my day better. Stay awesome, man. Well, thank you, Emily. Let's get 150 Emily W's. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. You were phenomenal. You were phenomenal. Let's go to get the next guest, Heidi, connected, as well as Kay with the $10. Says, have you ever taken the political compass test? I've been suggesting it to others for years. Maybe you could do it too.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I should do that on live one of these days. I know that Parker did. I should do it too. That'd be fun. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only up inside of the queue. If you're here for a debate, how many times do I need to repeat myself? It's honestly kind of crazy at this point. It's kind of crazy at this point how many times I need to repeat myself. Holy moly. Holy moly. Heidi, do you support Trump? Heidi, I'm a fucking ban you and move on to the next guest. We got Dean, what the hell? Dean Withers' mommy is connecting to the stream? What the hell is your problem? I'm not even going to let you connect. I'm just going to ban you
I
before
was
you
about
load
to
in.
say, you should be worried.
Yeah, what the hell is that, bro? Fuck are we doing, dude? Get a life, man. Linda, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. He says, you forgot to add that Trump said, and I quote, I just like to grab him by the pussy. Adjudicated rapist for doing exactly that. True, I did forget to add that. Ashley with the $10 says, you're my favorite yapper. I appreciate you. Mason, do you support Trump?
No, but my dad does.
Mason, feel free to hop back inside of this queue.
Yes.
Yeah, listen. If you're like a child of a parent that supports Trump and you want me to debate your parent, lie to me. When I ask you if you support Trump, lie and say yes, and then explain your like true motivations for why you're here. Because like usually after I hear a no, I just kick, and I've unfortunately kicked a lot of people who want me to debate their parents that way. So just like straight up lie to me, say yes, and then explain that you're not actually a Trump supporter, but you want me to debate your parents. Angel Wing, do you support Trump? I love you! Okay, do try to leave that queue for Trump supporters though. Like it's been 3 hours so far in the stream, and we've only debated one Trump supporter. Let's try to do better, everyone. Let's try to do better. Let's try to do a whole lot better.
Thank you for the 5, and Warren, thank you for the 10.
Hey, welcome in, Jake. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you, Jake?
18.
What year were you born in, Jake?
April 3rd, 2008.
April of 08. Okay. What state are you from, Jake?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brooks, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, hey, when will your next live be? Tomorrow. I go live every single day. And then Brianna, thank you for the $10 as well. I appreciate you for your support, and I'm sorry for that confusion, Brianna. As well as Delaney, Emily, and Nikki. I appreciate all three of you guys for the $3. All right, Jake, why don't you tell us why you support Trump?
Wait.
Well,
Before you do, I wanted to make sure that you got someone up here before I took off. I got to go meet back up with the missus now. I appreciate you having me up. You have fun with Jake. I didn't want to leave you hanging, though. So.
Hey, man. Appreciate you, Santana. Have a good rest of your day.
See you, bro.
See ya. W Santana's in the comment section. W Santana in the comment section. Oh, wait, Jake, before you take it away, for every person watching on TikTok, hit that goddamn diddly darn motherfucking follow button. Hit it right now.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
are.
hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, hit it. We are 13,000 followers away. We are 13,000 followers away. Well, no, did I do my math wrong? I did do my math wrong. We're 23,000 followers away from 7 million. There's already been 11,000 people that have followed me so far this stream. Hit that fucking follow button, dude. We need to get to 7 million. How exciting would that be? How exciting would that be to get to 7 million followers on stream? You know what? We're going to go to follower-only mode for the rest of the stream in 10 seconds. Meaning that in 10 seconds, okay, if you're not following, you're going to get kicked from the live.
Hit that follow.
Yeah, top left-hand corner. You got like 3 seconds to follow. Okay, I just scammed you all. You can't actually go to follower-only mode in the middle of the stream. Man, but we're closer to 7 million followers. Jake, why don't you take it away and tell us why you support Trump?
All right, so I support Trump for what he's done with like abortion.
Oh, geez. Okay. Really, what a mood killer. Do you think that abortion should be banned for rape victims?
Well, no, actually. And I actually think that Trump has said something about how he supports exceptions for rape, incest, and maternal life.
Okay. Okay. So you just want the man in elective circumstances, bro? Why?
Well, first of all, one thing is that I believe it's Roe versus Wade, something
Yeah.
like that. Either way, when he got rid of that, it actually, like with Roe versus Wade, it was harder for abortion, but without it, it actually, like for instance, his appointments overturned Roe versus Wade.
I'm familiar.
And when that happened, unfamiliar?
No, I'm familiar.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, when his appointments overturned Roe versus Wade in 2022, it actually like made it more acceptable for abortion.
No. So overturning Roe v. Wade gave the power to the states to ban abortion, leading, what is it, like 28 states to ban elective abortions, leaving 66 million American women and girls without access to abortion, as well as 10 to 13 states ban them even in circumstances of rape. And there's around 60 pregnant rape victims that are denied access to abortion on a daily basis because of that. Seems like you just have it completely backwards. Roe v. Wade was policy that protected every woman and girl's constitutional right to access abortion in every state across America. Okay, when he overturned that, it then led to less women having legal access to abortion. You're totally wrong.
Okay. I also have this written down, like on a quote, what I'm about to say, just so that way I remembered what to say. So what I have in quote is that Trump consistently supports exceptions for rape, incest, and maternal life. Trump explicitly opposes a federal abortion ban.
Okay. Yeah, so I understand that he himself has said that he supported those exceptions, but he gave the state the ability to ban those, ban abortions even in the cases of those exceptions. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. And the second point is, I think that women and girls should have access to all abortions. I think that they should have federally protected access to elective abortions. Okay. And overturning Roe v. Wade took that federally protected access away from them.
Yeah, but the nation also shouldn't really rely on 9 unelected judges for as far as like abortion. I mean, because he broke like 50-year grid to restore constitutional checks and balances.
So I'm so confused by this guy. Do you think that women and girls should have legal access to elective abortions?
I think so, yes.
But the fuck? Then you don't support what Donald Trump has done on abortion because he overturned.
No, okay, I think I
women's
did get
legal
that
access
wrong
to
because I
abortion.
do.
Okay, so then it doesn't sound like you're a Trump supporter at all because he took that right away from 66 million American women and girls.
Yeah, but also, as I said earlier, when he overturned Roe versus Wade, he also made like exceptions for rape, incest, and maternal life.
No. There were no exceptions legally made in federal policy. Many states have banned abortions, even in circumstance of rape.
Okay. Well, what about his judicial legacy that also balanced states' rights with protecting unborn life?
Buddy, you just told me that you agree with women and girls' access to elective abortions, meaning that you don't think we're protecting innocent life. You think that we're infringing on rights of women. Can I just ask you a very simple question? And I don't mean to be demeaning or rude in asking you this question.
No, I'm open.
Did you chat GPT an argument before you joined?
No, I'm going to be completely honest. I just got information from sources and wrote it down on a sheet of paper.
Okay, well, it doesn't seem like you really understand what you're reading. Okay, and the reason why I say that it doesn't seem like you understand what you're reading is because you said like 30 seconds ago you think that women and girls should have access to elective abortions, but now you're saying that Donald Trump balanced states' rights with protecting the life of the unborn, which is just code for banning access to abortion. But you just said that access shouldn't be restricted because you support their access.
Can I just read you can I just read you what I have written down on this paper so you can tell me whether it's right or wrong?
My friend, you could read one more thing, then I'm going to move on because once again, I think that the best place for you to be is watching the stream because I don't really think you understand what you're reading.
You know, that's completely fine. You can move on.
Okay, and just know, like, I'm not doing any of this to like be a jackass or mean to you. You said that you're from Oklahoma, my friend. Oklahoma has the worst education in the United States of America, and
They're
there are a
literally
lot
the
of
bottom.
yeah, and there are a lot of people from Oklahoma that live the rest of their lives as really ignorant, really uninformed idiots. So I really appreciate you for joining the stream and asking questions. Even though you didn't really understand them, I still appreciate you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and you continue to watch the lives, okay?
You too. I will.
Okay. You take care. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please and thank you. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Here we go, everyone. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio on TikTok, pin message over on YouTube, as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. Best way to support what we do, you could ask a question, get a message across. I'll try my best to read it out loud. We are so close to 7 million followers. If you haven't already, hit that motherfucking follow button. Hit that shit. Hit that follow button. Top left-hand corner on TikTok. Hit that shit. Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. I just saw a wave of people hitting that follow button in the live stream. A wave of people hitting that follow button in the live stream. As soon as we get that next guest connected, I'll give you guys an update of how close we are. Let's go to get the next guest connected right now. We got Marls connecting. Sanchez, thank you so much for the manifesting. That's very kind of you. Michelle says, I would never press that follow button. Yes, you would, Michelle. Yes, you would. You would. You would hit that motherfucking follow button. I know you. I know you would, Michelle. In fact, Michelle, I sent you an invite to join the stream to debate me on why you wouldn't hit that motherfucking follow button, okay? Let's go to get the next guest, El Diablo, loading in. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Hit that button. Hit that button. Oh, especially for those watching on YouTube. Hey, might as well. If you have TikTok on your phone, go follow me real quick. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Here we go. We got Razan loading up. If we don't hit it on live, that's fine. But it'd be cool to hit it on live. Razan, welcome into You Support Trump.
I love Trump. Make America great again. And I'm here to debate with you on which aspect, like, you choose.
I'd assume that you're trolling.
No, I'm not.
You're being serious? How old are you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
17.
All right, you got to be at least 18 to join your band. We're just looking for American adults that support Donald J. Trump as president. Yo! Okay, last time we called it out, we were 20,000 followers, 23,000 followers away from 7 million. Now we're 20,000 followers away from 7 million. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit it. With current trends, I don't think that we're going to hit it. We're probably going to hit 7 million before my next live, though. So we'll probably celebrate the next time I go live, and unless there's just like a major push. Welcome in the good neighbor. Do you support Trump?
Güey, es que una un problem, puss.
Get the hell out of here. We're going to go to get the next guest connected. We got Cuzzy Woozy joining.
Hello?
Welcome in. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
What year are you born in?
2008, May 26th.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. And why do you happen to support the very worst president of your life?
Alright. Don't ban me, but listen. I don't. No. 98% of my school does. And I cannot stand it. And I really want to educate myself on, like, knowing more.
Watch the stream, my friend. Watch the stream. The main purpose of the live streams isn't even really to change the mind of the person I'm debating, but it is to educate and inform the viewers. But god damn, I feel bad for you. 90%, bro. I thought I had it bad at like 70%. 90%? Yikes, dude. That's bad. Let's go to get the next guest up here, folks. We might have Parker joining for a moment here in a bit. I kind of need to use a restroom, so I invited him to join to cover me. He said 98%. Oh, fuck. Craig Tucker. Is a troll. Guys, please don't troll so we could keep it to the debates. Please don't troll so we could keep it to the debates. I would really appreciate y'all. If you wouldn't troll so we could keep it to the debates. Please and thank you. 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 Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got Wee Piss loading in. Hello, Wee Piss.
We are wee piss. We carry the piss. We fight for the piss to honor the wee piss. Hi, Dean. My name's Wee Piss. I love you.
Wee Piss, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm looking at your account.
Yes.
And you just have like random videos with like 20 million views? And
Yeah, because I'm an animator. Dean, let me know if you ever want to be in a video. I would love to have you in a video. I can like green screen you in there and I can animate you.
Sure, you know what? Throw me in a video, Wee Piss.
Oh my god.
Throw me in a video, Wee Piss. I'll be keeping an eye out for it. Wee Piss. What a name. Wee Piss. Let's go to get the next guest connected. On the opposite side of the queue, if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, I'd really appreciate that. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Wee Piss. What a name. Okay, here we go. Moving on to the next guest. This person has a cross in their name. Hoping that means they're on the right. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year are you born in?
2007.
2000.
Fuck. No, please spell Parker, please. I promise. I love you.
My name's not even Parker.
No, I'm telling you, Parker again. Please.
Okay. Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Only opposite side of the queue. If you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, I'm my own man. I'm Dean. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Nails by Tay.
Yeah.
Age, please.
18, and I was born in
Born in what year?
2008, April 4th.
Okay. I don't know. I'll take your word for it. Let me thank a couple people, then the floor is yours. Caitlin, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, says the Declaration of Independence says, whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Why aren't we doing this? Is it even possible today? It's probably not possible today with the whole like government owning nukes thing. Jamie, thank you for the $30, who says your favorite right-leaning anti-Trumper here. No need to read this out loud. Okay, I'll keep that to myself. Still, let me know when you have time to talk, Jamie. Appreciate you for the $30. I do remember you. Why don't you go to Take It Away, Tay? Do you support Trump? You already said yes. Sorry. Brain fart. Tell us why you support Trump.
To be honest, I feel like I support him for multiple reasons, but I will say that I don't like every single one of his policies, but I do like it more than some of the other presidents we've had on the other side. That makes me support it more. But specifically, I'm not too in on abortion. I agree with forms of deportation, and that's my two main reasons, to be honest.
Okay. When you told us that you were 18, were you being honest?
Yes.
Okay. For the people in the chat saying that they're a minor, do you have any evidence of this? With this, I'll just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on the chat.
I'm really not.
Guys, if you have any evidence of her being a minor, feel free to describe it down below. I'll keep an eye on the chat. Okay, so you said that you supported deportation. What's one way that Donald Trump's mass deportation has positively impacted America in the last year and a half?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I think a lot of the things I see about maybe ICE agents killing people, I can say I feel like I hear so much about that, and then it's debunked, or it's goes back and forth. So I don't want to specifically talk about those people, because I feel like it's both ways. I always hear things and then they get debunked or that, but my biggest reason I like it is because I feel like the people could go through the process of trying to get into the country safely, and I feel like sometimes there are criminals that do get in and do cause harm. And I feel like nobody can say that's not true, because I hear stuff about it all the time, little kids getting hurt by these people, and it's awful to hear.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying that maybe you support it because you hear a lot of stories about undocumented immigrants hurting people. Okay, well, here's the thing. So A, undocumented immigrants are significantly less likely to hurt people than natural U.S.-born citizens. That's a fact. They're 2.5 times less likely to commit a violent crime and 4 times less likely to commit a nonviolent crime. Secondarily, for the undocumented immigrants who do hurt people, Democrats were much better at removing them from the country. That's also a fact. Under Obama, upwards of 20% of the deportations were of violent undocumented immigrants. Meanwhile, that number has fallen to below 5% today under Trump. Boom.
Gotcha. But I think that the reason I support him is because I don't feel like the way I like things, I don't think that Kamala Harris or Joe Biden was a better option to me.
Okay, yeah, why? Why was Trump better than Harris? Why was the guy who threatened to genocide 90 million people and claimed to be God? Bam! Y'all were right again. Motherfucker. She also got banned for being under 18. Damn! Chat was right again. Chat was right again. How do you know? How, like, what was the evidence there? I mean, apparently there was some. Because she got banned. I don't know. Voice? Well, unless the voice is like prepubescent.
What happened?
Okay, like clearly under the age of 18. Like, can you tell? Like, I don't know. I know 18 and 19-year-old women who sound identical to her. But there must have been something. Welcome in, Christopher. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do, Dean.
Okay, how old are you, Christopher?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
What time is it?
It's 7 p.m.
What state are you in?
I'm in New York.
What's the capital of New York?
It is, it's Albany.
Sniped. Moving on to the next guess. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Connor?
Quite frankly.
Snipes. Moving on to the next guess. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I'd really appreciate that. Very much so. Law of the Wild. Hey, man. Good to see ya. Law of the Wild with the $10 says, I remember breaking 1 mil hosting with you. Very proud of you. May your success grow as rapidly as the strength of the arguments you have. Oh, thanks, man. That's crazy. Yeah, were you on my live stream when we hit 1 mil? That's nuts. That's so crazy. It's so insane just to see how things have evolved. It really is. Really nuts. By the way, if you haven't already, if you're watching on TikTok, hit that follow button. Hit it now. Hit it now. Quite frankly, top left-hand corner, hit that follow button. We're so close to 7 million followers. Oh my goodness gracious. You're so fucking funny, Sammy. You're so fucking hilarious. I'm laughing my fucking ass off. I'm laughing my fucking ass off right now, Sammy. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please and thank you. Welcome in, Pickled Dolphins. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do support Trump, actually.
How old are you?
I am 18.
You got a Bible verse in your bio. Put it on God that you're a Trump supporter.
On God.
Okay, and what year were you born in?
2008, February 20th, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if I believe you. I don't know if I believe you.
I swear on everything. I just have like fucking horrible memory.
No, I don't know if I believe that you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, well, yes, I am a Trump supporter.
The reason why I don't believe you is because you have posts of you wearing acrylic nails. First and foremost, no issue with that. Slay. Second of all, I feel like if you were a Trump supporter, you would find an issue with that.
Well, listen, I have fucking girl cousins. They like to do nails and all that. So I just let them do them on me, because why not?
But you have like a bunch of posts with them.
Okay, hey, I just looked good in the pictures, you gotta say. I looked good in them.
If you're a troll, you're funny as hell. I don't know. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Okay, no, still stop wasting our time, though. Seriously, are you a troll?
I'm not a troll. Swear.
Okay. Why do you support Trump as president?
I do support him, but some of his actions are horrible, I will say.
Do you think that you look good in the acrylic nails?
Yes, I do.
You understand that if you, like, told that to any other Trump supporter, you'd be, like, called a demon from hell and disowned by your immediate family members. They might even, like, try to, like, send you to a conversion therapy. I wish I was joking. They're actually trying to re-legalize those in 3 states right now.
I do know that. My family, they don't support Trump, but I do.
What has he done that you support?
Immigration, sending them back to their own country. Shoot. I'm not very smart, if you can't tell.
Okay, you're a troll. Get out of here, bro.
We are.
Yeah, wasting our time. We don't have too much longer left on the stream, everyone. We really don't have too much longer left on the stream. Just putting that one out there. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got the Sedgwick loading up in. Mr. Sedgwick, welcome in.
What's good? What's good? How the debate's been today, bro?
Dude, we've had one debate.
You're trolling, bro.
No. To be fair, it was a really long one, but we've had one debate today.
That is comically bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Is that how many trolls? Like, has it been like hours of trolls?
Yeah.
Or like, how long was that debate?
Yeah, so we had trolls for the first hour and 9 minutes. And then we had like a 2-hour debate. Well, that got us to 3 hours. And then we've just had like another 30 minutes of trolls.
That is evil.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's evil, dude. The 2-hour debate, though, is diabolic. I bet that was brutal.
Well, no, I planned it. I had a lady join our stream last night, and I could just tell that it would be a long discussion. So I planned it out with her. I was expecting it. I invited it. You joining up just to cover me while I use the restroom, or you want to hang out until I end the stream?
I can hang out until you end the stream, because I'll be on for like an hour or so.
Nice. Based. Sick. Our little closet 13, do you support Trump?
No.
Oh, dude, stop. I want more than one debate today. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. I want more than one debate today, you guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Please. 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 Losing my mind, bro. Please, I need this. I need this. Where's the next guest at? Virtue. We're gonna get Virtue up here. Mr. Sedgwick, how's your day been?
The stream was pretty decent today, not too crazy. And then I had a really good time with my girlfriend. Just went on like a lunch date and did some errands, so that was nice.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for every single person that's watching this live stream right now in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Lord, before we're conservatives, liberals, supporters, critics, or anything else, we are people that are made in your image. Lord, I pray that you would seek truth over tribalism, wisdom over outrage, and understanding over pride. Guard our hearts from hatred, contempt, and the desire to tear one another down. If we hold beliefs that are wrong, then Lord, give us the humility to change. If we speak, then let us speak honestly. If we listen, then let us listen with patience. Help us to care more about what is true than about winning an argument. Lord, I pray that our leaders, as your word instructs us to do, Lord, grant them with wisdom, integrity, and a desire to pursue justice and peace. Where there is corruption, I ask you to expose it. Where there is dishonesty, bring it into light. Where there is division, help people, because without compromising the truth. Lord Jesus, remind us that our greatest hope is not found in any politician, party, or government, but in you. Earthly leaders come and go, but your kingdom is everlasting. May this conversation be respectful, thoughtful, and honest. Let it encourage people to seek truth with humility and to treat one another with the dignity that every human being deserves. And above all else, may you be glorified. In the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I say amen.
All right,
Sorry, I
thank
just wanted
you.
to pray for everyone.
No, thank you, celibate
All right,
Eminem.
God bless you.
Don't leave. I'd like to debate you on abortion.
Me?
Oh, yeah. Do you think that abortion should be illegal?
Yes.
Can I debate you on that?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, perfect. So you think it should be illegal because of your religious convictions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Are you a Catholic, non-denominational, Protestant, Reformed? What are you?
Currently, I'm non-denominational, but I'm leaning towards Catholicism.
Okay, all right. You're currently non-denominational. So do you think that
Yeah,
some sins
so-
are worse than others outside of blasphemy?
That's a difficult question. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
You don't really know. Okay, so in other words, you don't really know if the sin of abortion is worse than the sin of lying?
The sin of what?
So in other words, you don't really know if the sin of abortion is worse than the sin of lying?
No.
Do you think that the sin of lying should be legal?
The sin of lying?
Yeah.
Lying. No, I think this is not a topic I have studied. So
I would assume not, though. Like you think that people should be able to like tell their children that like Santa Claus exists, right?
all right, I wouldn't compare God to Santa Claus.
I'm not comparing God to Santa Claus. I'm just saying like you probably think that like on Christmas parents should be able to legally tell their children that Santa Claus exists, even though that's a lie. So I guess my question would be, if you don't really know if the sin of abortion is any worse than the sin of lying, yet you think lying should be legal, what's your justification for why abortion should be illegal?
So originally, I thought you said the sin of lion, not lying. I'm not actually American.
I know.
I'm from England, but I would personally put abortion under the sin of murder.
Okay, I understand. But I guess my question here is, I don't think that you could like coherently apply your Christian faith to a criminal justice system, because a criminal justice system necessitates a very high level of like granular nuance to be able to distinguish between the wrongness of a sin, to be able to determine if that sin should be punishable with jail time, and then even on top of that, further nuance to determine out of the sins that are wrong to the point where they should be criminalized, well, how criminal should they be? What sins should necessitate life in jail, and what sins should just necessitate a fine? I'm saying that the Christian Bible doesn't give a coherent framework for the delineation between the nuances and the wrongness of actions. And for that reason, it makes it quite difficult to legislate on the basis of the Christian worldview. So why do you think that abortion should be illegal? Because if you say it's because of the Christian worldview, well, then all of a sudden we run into this issue. Well, should all sins be illegal? Should all sins be punished the same if we make them all illegal? Well, no, because there's clearly some sins that you think should be legal. So then how do you further justify your claim that abortion should be illegal?
So, okay. Firstly, the reason why I believe, well, abortion being illegal is kind of a tricky category for me, because what I do understand some sides of the abortion argument. Like, for example, if abortion was made illegal, then there would be plenty of people who would be performing unsafe abortions, which would obviously lead to a lot more destructive things. And I'd prefer it if people, if they were to get an abortion, they did it safely. So I can understand reasons for the legality of it, but personally, people are going to sin no matter what. So my faith remains in Jesus Christ. That none of us are perfect, all right? Which is why I believe we should turn to the Lord Jesus Christ, repent for our sins.
Well, I mean,
Simple
then
as,
engage
yeah.
in an intellectual conversation about the application of the faith to everyday life. Because it seems like you're like just refusing to engage in that conversation with me.
So I've been Christian for 1.5 years, so I'm not too into the faith, but I am trying to become more and more Christian every day.
Well, then I just recommend like you probably better acquaint yourself with the ins and outs of your theological beliefs before you join a debater's live stream and tell a 2-minute prayer.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to pray. It's that simple.
Okay, all right. Well, I just wanted to debate.
That's the reason.
We're going to move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Let's go to get the next guest up here. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for a debate, everybody. We got the next guest, Morgan, connecting.
Dean, you're so close to 7 million followers on TikTok. It's fucked.
Oh, we should see how far away we are. One moment. Welcome in, though. Let's see how far away we are. 19,000 followers. I don't think that we're going to hit on stream, but we'll probably hit it, like, in the middle of the night.
Dean, that is just genuinely fucked, bro.
That's a lot of followers, man. That's a lot of
followers, bro.
That's pretty outrageous. I'll be honest. That's pretty outrageous. Super excited. Wow, nuts. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do. And congratulations on your followers. That's a big milestone.
It's very kind of you, Morgan. Perfect. How old are you?
28. Well, 28 in a month.
Have you been on the live stream before?
I have several months ago, and I've kind of been changing my opinion a bit. But
Yeah, I remember you. Okay. Yeah, it works.
do you actually?
I do. Peachy, thank you so much for time. I appreciate you. How long ago?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember it was so random. I was scrolling. I was like, oh, I've seen that guy on YouTube before. Oh, I'll make a comment. And then you invited me. I was very like, oh, I've never done this before. Okay.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I barely remember you, so it's maybe like closer to a year ago. Yeah, sounds good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly thank a couple people for their donations, and then I'm actually going to pass the mic to Parker to talk to you while I go and use the restroom. Katie, thank you for the $10. She says, voted Trump because of my parents influenced me. Been listening all day for the first time. Thank you for opening my mind. Followed you today. I love that, Katie. I love that so much. I love that so much. You are awesome. Thank you so much, Linda, for the $10. She says, early congrats on 7 million. Thank you, Linda. Stephanie, thank you for the $30. Who says, why is it always dudes whining about abortion? Cheers to almost 7 million. Keep fighting the dumbass MAGAs. I appreciate you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that love. And then Riley, thank you so much for the $10. Good luck on getting that tattoo. That's a very meaningful tattoo, Riley. Over on Super Chat, the Falcon Man, thank you for the $50. Okay. It's the Falcon Man. We talked about you earlier. I appreciate you for the donation. The Falcon Man says, and I quote, I'm absolutely in love. Okay, Falcon and Freddy. You know, if you were to, like, I don't know, connect with each other offline, you wouldn't have to spend $5, $10, $20, $30, $50 just to send a message to one another. Just to let you guys know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be, like, telling you this because it'll probably make me a little bit less money. But like at this point, please stop sending me money. And I don't know, go connect with one another offline. We love that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Jackson, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I really do appreciate you. Peachy, thank you for the Galaxy. Thank you so very much. Harold, thank you for the $20. Who says, do you have the timestamp for when you blew your cool on Wednesday? I don't. It was probably around the middle of the stream, though, Harold, sorry. Thank you for the $20. Cully, thank you for the $10. Who says, hey, buddy, I made a video defending you on my TikTok. I'll check it out. I think I know your TikTok. Alexander, thank you for the $10. Who says, as somebody who turned 18 this year, I'm so terrified for my future. Yeah, well, don't worry. I'm trying to fight for your future, and millions of other people are too. Get involved yourself, advocate for what you believe in, and hopefully you could ensure a very good future for you and your friends. Lily, thank you for the $10. I did see that, Lily. Madeline, thank you for the $10 as well. And Erica, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy that our live streams can help you better understand politics. With that being said, I'm gonna go pee. Morgan, if you want to take it away and tell Parker why you support Trump, that'd be great. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Why do you still support Trump?
Well, first, nice to meet you. And I like a lot of what he's done. My biggest turnoff is his he's kind of Israel's bitch right now. I really don't care for that. That was my least favorite thing his first term. I think he has good points, and I think he had a big head start, and I think he's slowed down momentum, and he's gotten a bit weird. And I almost wonder if he's getting like the angry dementia. He's getting very angry.
Okay, so like, why do you still support him?
I think his main message is good, and I really hope that he'll get through whatever mood he's been in, that he'll straighten up. I mean,
I don't think it's just a mood. I think it's a constant behavior, right? I think it's a personality characteristic for him. I mean, his history of character is very bad. I feel like
he
we need to
had
go
a good
through
mood when he was running. He was very like, I'm
I don't think the
Christian
problem is his
now,
mood necessarily alone. It's his character.
I really hope that's not the case. If that's the case, and that's very important. Although anyone in
Really?
politics, I mean, they're
Can I
gonna
ask you a
be
question then?
gross.
Do you think that any person who's a violent sex offender has a good character?
No, but I don't think he's the sex offender that they're trying to spin him as personally. But if I'm wrong, then I'm very wrong because I mean,
Yeah, just
sex
look up
offending's
Trump
never okay.
liable. Yeah, just look up Trump liable essay AP News, and you'll see that Donald Trump has been held liable unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people for forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will, which is a violent sex offense legally. So he's legally defined under civil law as a violent sex offender. If you agree that there's no violent sex offender that has good character, then you would agree that Trump has bad character, right?
I mean, no, sex offender is never good, but I didn't say that. I think he has a good character. I thought he'd be better than Kamala, which I do think he is better than Kamala.
Why do you think he's better than Kamala Harris?
How are you supposed to pronounce her name correctly? Everybody says it differently.
Kamala.
Kamala. That's how you say it?
Yeah, like Kamala.
Okay, I'll try to say it correctly for this. Thank you. She just seemed so lost and like she didn't know what she was doing. And honestly, I felt like the other countries were going to take advantage of her. And when Trump was running, he got a lot of respect from other countries. They were really like, okay, like shit, we're going to straighten up. Oh, wait, sorry. Can you swear on this? Is that okay?
No, you fucking can't. Holy
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. It seemed like everybody respected him a bit more, like Kamala, that they were like, you know, just gonna steamroll her. I didn't like that. I felt like we could get into wars or abused as a country. I mean, we're supposed to be one of the major powers, right? Like we're supposed to, you know, help out the other countries and have strength and, you know, and Russia also, I feel like Putin has a bit of a fear of Trump. And there was a bit of like, remember he was doing all the Ukraine stuff and he was just getting out of hand. He was being gross. I mean, I felt like Trump was like, what about with Japan and all of these other countries that have come to him and they're like respectful and like, yes, please help us. I don't think they would have done that with Kamala at all.
Well, did you know a bunch of our allies respected us more with Kamala comparative to Trump? There was actually a Pew Research article or survey done amongst a bunch of our different allies, and they had over a 20-point higher percentage confidence in Harris versus Trump on an 18 through 24 country median. So
Who did the
she was
survey?
like significantly more respected.
I'm iffy on surveys because I feel like some people can manipulate the situation. Personally, I feel like people manipulate it because I mean, if you see like Fox doing a survey and CBS News doing a survey, they always get different results. I feel like people can be a bit biased.
Yeah, this is from
Personally.
Pew Research though, so it's a reliable institution.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them. I mean, personally though, I do feel like countries would be like, yeah, we love Kamala way more if they were going to get more out of her, you know, like manipulate her. You know, I mean, just people in government leading countries are normally pretty scummy. They're normally pretty like look out for number one.
I mean, actually, you're not entirely wrong, but that's actually not a bad thing. I think that global mutual cooperation with allies, where both parties benefit, is a good thing. And
Oh,
you were
definitely.
right. Many European countries would have been able to get more out of Kamala Harris because she was more of a respectable diplomat compared to a crazy tyrant who just wants to impose unconstitutional tariffs on all of our allies, threaten to invade them, and threaten to destroy the allyship as a whole. But that's
I
not a
do
bad
disagree with the
thing. That's
war
a good
thing.
thing.
Yeah, he ran on no war, and that was the thing he was known for was he didn't start any wars during his presidency. He only ended them, and now he started a war. I hate that. Genuinely, I truly hate that. Completely. And like taking the guy in Venezuela, that I know it was sold to us like it was supposed to be a good thing. I really think that's freaky. I don't what did you think did you think that was good or bad?
Bad. I mean, they still have a dictator, but now they just also have U.S. Exploitation and theft of their natural resources. So if there ever comes a day when they're able to liberate themselves as a country, they're going to have less natural resources to turn into defense of the newly liberated Venezuelan democracy, leaving them much
Yeah.
more susceptible to power vacuum and overthrow.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, because if you want to like release them from a dictator, great. I can get behind that. That's awesome. And I know you couldn't post that because then they prepare or whatever. But it was really about the oil. And I know countries are supposed to, I guess, look out for number one. I hate that mentality. I really do. Um, and I really did appreciate that he was like the non-war Republican. I mean, right? Most Republicans are like pro-war. We make all the money and we set ourselves up to be strong. And
He's
I
like
don't
the
like that
most
about
pro-war.
Republicans.
Donald Trump is the most pro-war Republican since Dick Cheney, dude.
Since when? What did he say about it that I missed?
Why I think that Donald Trump is the most pro-war Republican since Dick Cheney? Because
Yes,
not
but
only did he
including
start a
his
war
past
of his own.
presidencies.
Yeah,
Not
but
just
he
his
has
past
also
little-
like threatened to invade like a bajillion of our allies. He threatened to genocide the 90 million people living in Iran. He went
I
into
hate that.
Venezuela, and now he says he wants to continue his path of conquest, possibly in other countries like Cuba, Canada, Mexico, Colombia. I mean,
But
if
isn't he just a shit talker most of the time? He never really follows through on that kind of stuff. Not saying it's good.
well, that's actually
but
a
most of the
really
time.
bad trait in a president. The whole, oh, I'm going to kill all these people, and I do happen to be the most powerful man in the world. Like,
Does
yeah,
he
I
word
think
it that
that's
way?
really
Like, I'm gonna
reckless.
kill?
Well, I mean, he said he was going to destroy the entire civilization of Iran.
That's weird. I don't like his Twitter post this go around. I think he's put like a kid in it and they're doing all this AI shit and it's very weird. What do you think of that? It's weird, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's expected from somebody with Trump's character, but I think it's the furthest thing away from presidential. In fact, so unpresidential that it on its own warrants a reason for not supporting him.
I mean, when he
I-
ran before, he was like, he would just make these quippy little things, and some of the stuff he would say was like obviously not good, but some of it was pretty like good. Like that thing, he would just throw out things like to Hillary, you know, because you'd be in jail, and that was great, and it was fun. And now the AI thing of him being Jesus, oh my goodness! I mean, because I'm a Christian, I saw that, and I was like,
why can't you draw the
get
line
this man
there?
out.
Yeah,
What?
why can't you draw the line there? Like Republicans were complaining about Obama taking selfies, wearing a helmet on a bike, and like
helmet
wearing
on
a
a
tan
bike.
suit and Dijon mustard. Okay, and that's what they were dealing with under Obama's administration. That's what their criticism was. But it seems like the criticisms you have of Trump are a lot larger, right, than those criticisms.
I can't judge Obama completely because I was younger and not paying attention. But I mean, there were things I saw that were icky and stuff. And I don't, his relationship with Michelle seems a bit off. She's really going after him a lot lately, making him out to be this terrible man. And I'm very curious about what's going on there. Like, was he
What?
terrible to her?
When did Michelle Obama do that?
Oh, she keeps putting all this stuff out about how he would go golfing and she was stuck home with the kids and he got to be this powerful man and everybody knew his name. She's been on a bunch of podcasts lately talking about it and saying how she's so glad she had only girls because she didn't want a little Obama. Like, quote that. That's what she said. It was weird.
I think that she's just like shared like honest struggles and minor annoyances from their long marriage, which is
And that's
probably
fine, but
the most
what
like
does that
human
speak of her
thing ever.
husband? I would never say that about my husband. That I didn't want a little him. That's crazy.
Oh, I don't know if that's a real quote. I'd love for you to show that to
It
me.
is. Look it up.
But
You have your Google.
what is a wife publicly voicing minor struggles and inconveniences about a long marriage probably indicate? That she has a good husband. The reason
wasn't
why
minor.
I'll tell you
She's,
I'll tell you the reason why I think that indicates that she probably has a good husband. Because with a bad husband, okay, right? A, you're not going to have minor struggles. You're going to have major struggles. And B, you're not going to be able to voice them. Okay?
I mean,
being able
she's
to like
voiced it.
comfortably and publicly voice like the minor annoyances that you have with your partner in a very productive and healthy manner is very indicative of like a healthy relationship.
I'm saying you should look it up because of like taking care of women. She has made it clear that like she had struggles with him, that she felt very unheard, very unimportant. She felt like she had a lot of struggles being the first African American.
How about this?
I mean,
you know, Trump's ex-wife said that he raped her. Where did Michelle Obama say that?
oh, sorry. Yes, we're supposed to be on Trump. Yes, okay. But that I do have concerns about Obama with that, and I think we should acknowledge that with not Kamala. Sorry, it's been a long day. Yeah, no, no.
The fact
The
that
rape.
that's your number one thing to say about Obama, but you're unwilling to apply the same standard to Trump is the problem that we have. Like Trump is objectively worse in all of these cases. Cheated on every single one of his wives, like every single one.
Yeah. No, good
Like
point,
like
Parker.
if you
Like,
you want to make a
Has he cheated on his
comparison here,
current
there's
wife?
literally
Like-
no comparison.
like she's saying that, oh, like we should like condemn Obama because his wife said that she's
No.
minorly annoyed with him sometimes. Okay.
I just thought
you
it
know,
was a
40
bit
women
spooky that
and,
you were
and including a
like-
wife had said that Trump raped them.
No, it's just you normally look stuff up to like look up facts, and you're a little dismissive about it, and that's important. We should acknowledge women's concerns, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
left
mean,
and right, we can agree.
But I
no,
think I think that like
raping?
those particular
Uh-uh.
concerns are very like healthy concerns. Like I mean I would expect a couple that has been married for a very long time to have minor annoyances with one another from time to time, and publicly, I guess or privately, I guess explicitly voicing those minor concerns is not a bad thing. If anything, that's a very healthy thing to do. It's like when I hear two people that have been together for a long time voice very minor concerns of annoyances with their partner, like that's not like putting like a red flag on in my head about their partner. If anything, that's just kind of human. Like we're going to expect like some threshold of minor concerns and annoyances within any relationship, and anybody that would tell you otherwise is a fucking liar. Okay, and the fact
understand,
that they're
and
being voiced is the healthiest thing to do.
I know you have an agenda with this. I'll move off of Michelle, but I do want to acknowledge that that's important to understand. But if it has been like legal that Trump raped his wife, then he should have never become president. I would say I like JD much more. I'm more interested in him.
Can you name one thing that JD Vance has done as vice president that you think has benefited the country?
You know, come to think of it, he hasn't made a lot of big, like, JD led this and JD led that. That is something that we should see more about. I know that he's had a lot of family stuff, like they just had a baby. And I mean, what is like his fourth kid? But, and I have liked how he's come and spoken to the public. I think he's very human and a really good connection. You remember, like, Kennedy, you know, he was like a family man in the White House, and people really connected with that, and he really connected with us. And you know, JD's been through a lot, and I relate to him. I find more humanity in him than I did with Kamala, and he's a bigger reason that
So
I
you
voted
can't
for
mention
Trump.
anything. It's simply just that you feel like he's more human when talking. That's it.
I guess I don't know a lot of what he's done during the presidency besides speaking on the things that they've done, but I know more about
Besides
what he's
having a
done
baby.
before. I haven't paid attention to him as much. I guess because Trump gets all the big headlines. You're right. That is a big concern. That is something that should change.
Who else in the Republican Party do you like for nominee in 2028?
Not honestly. I really want Charlie Kirk.
I don't think that's possible to vote for him at this point. So
I
you
know,
might
but
want to
I just
bring up
he
someone.
was-
Who else do you support in the Republican Party?
I'd really hoped that he and JD would run a lot, and that's just very tragic, personally. And also, Dean, you got to speak to Charlie. I mean, I know y'all didn't get along, and I know didn't he call you like a little worm or something? He didn't like you. I know you didn't like him.
No,
but
He called me deranged.
He called
He called
Parker
you
deranged,
deranged?
but he called me highly intelligent and likely to be conservative one day.
oh. Well, I mean, that's big coming from him, where he feels like, you know, you age into conservatism. And isn't that what most people say? You know, you're a liberal when you're young and free, and then you age up and you're like, you know what?
You know, I will say about Charlie Kirk saying that, he said more too. He said that I was highly intelligent, likely to become conservative one day, and he has a soft spot for me in his heart. You know, that's like some really thick armor that I have with conservatives.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, you know? You know, it's like my trap card. It's like some conservatives talking shit. Boom! Look at what the Kirky said. So.
Oh, that's really
maybe
sweet.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a bit of a relationship? Like, I mean, were y'all becoming like, you know, respectful of each other? Maybe political buddies?
No.
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 Oh, I really hate that about him.
He was dodging a debate with Dean. He wouldn't debate Dean. He kept saying he would debate Dean privately and publicly, and then like wouldn't follow up with debating him.
Yeah.
You can totally dismiss this. It's just a question. What do you think of Erica? I don't know if anyone's asked you that, but I'm so curious what you think. I've wondered seeing you talk. I'm like, I wonder what Dean would think.
I don't think that she should be in the public eye.
No.
I think that she should, stay out of the public eye. If she wants to work, go work a job that's not in the public eye, and love your children and just leave that life behind you. I just don't think she's made for the camera, man. I don't.
No.
I think that she's a little fucking weirdo, if you want me to be honest.
Yes, I know. I agree.
Not made for the camera.
She spooks me on such a spiritual level. When she first came out to speak, it unsettled me so much, and I was like, oh, what is wrong with you? She's talking about her husband. This is terrible. Like, you're just a bit disturbed seeing what happened. But then everything she came out with that's so unsettling, would you say? It gives you the creeps a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I think no one would be like thinking about her or talking about her if she just like never entered into the public light after his assassination. Like she'd just like be chilling, grieving the death of her husband, hanging out with her kids, doing her own thing on her own time, and no one would be concerned with her in the slightest. But she put herself in that position. She picked up the flame.
Weird.
I'll tell you that much.
Oh
and
yeah,
I don't think
the
it was a good decision.
sparklers at his funeral. The sparklers? It was so weird. Who does sparklers at their husband's funeral?
I don't think this is much of a debate anymore. I don't understand why you're a Trump supporter. You don't really sound like one. I feel like you've spent more time disagreeing with Trump than agreeing with him.
Oh, sorry. Last time we talked about pros, and then funny enough, as I've like started to dislike him over the past couple months, I've thought back to like, oh, I remember that time I talked to Dean and he was like, I really think you should go think about it. And it's like, oh, fuck, I did. And I bet he would have such a little smirk about it.
Well, think about it more. I hope that you stop supporting him. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Appreciate you for your time, Morgan.
I appreciate you too. And that we had a respectful talk. And I'm sorry you've had little spammers all night.
Yeah, take care. A couple of people to thank here. Addison, appreciate you for the $10 on PayPal. He says, shout out to the Tigers. My brothers went to school with you, and we all love you. It's so great to see such a good representation of Grand Junction. Hey, that's incredible. Shout out to your brothers. Yeah, up and coming political commentator from the Grand Junction. You never expect it, right? Elsa, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. That is ELSA. Show some love to Elsa, who says, I've been watching your lives for the past few weeks. You, Santana, and Parker are so incredibly intelligent, and I love and appreciate what y'all are doing. You said some great things that are helping me rethink and heal through my childhood traumas. Thanks a bunch, Dean. Keep it up. Well, thank you for the kind words. I'm so happy that live streams help you out in your own unique way. I love to hear that so very much. Mia, thank you so much for the $6. Huge shout out to you. I really appreciate you for the love and support. And yeah, you're lucky that you're not in the U.S. As well as River, thank you for the $1, and Jackson, thank you for the 10. Jackson, thank you for the kind words. A couple people to thank on Venmo. Thank you so much, Chloe, for the $5. Oh my God, Natalie, thank you for the $500 donation on Venmo. What the fuck? Oh my God, Natalie. That is so much money. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. You're the holy fuck. God damn. Damn, that caught me off guard. Holy shit, Natalie. Whoa. Thank you so much. I want to see 500 Natalie W's in that chat. That is Natalie. Natalie, you asked me not to read your message out loud. I will happily keep that to myself. Just know that I appreciate you. Every bone of my body. Genuinely, I don't take $1 of that for granted, nor do I deserve even $1 of that. I'm so fucking grateful for you. Show some love to the goat Natalie down below. Holy moly, bro. That dude, that's like a very considerable portion of my rent. That's like food for a long time. Holy shit. Show some love to Natalie. Emma, thank you for the $5. BL, thank you for the $50. Who says, Dean, what you do is very important and powerful. There's such value in listening to debate. Thank you for your contribution to that space. Thank you, BL. You're awesome. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for the kind words on top of the $50. That is very, very kind of you. Z with the $10 says, I worked an 11-hour shift today and listening to you helped me get through it faster. I'm happy that we can help you get through work faster. Ian, appreciate you for the $10 who says, my MAGA coworker gave me a scary thought of Bo Nix being MAGA. I hope it's not true, but go Broncos. Appreciate you for the $10. I don't know if it's true. Mia, thank you for the $15. She says, treat yourself. Appreciate you, Mia. As well as Abigail, thank you for the $10. She says, hey, Dean, this is the first time I've donated. You were super respectful, sometimes when you shouldn't be, and informative. It's been awesome watching you change people's minds and making a difference. Hope your day is going well. I don't know, guys. Did I overcorrupt? Sorry, not overcorrupt. Did I overcorrect? What? I can't speak. Did I overcorrect with my respectability that I showed to the guests? Because if you watch these streams like a year or 2 years ago, I was like known as like the very disrespectful jackass. VR, thank you for the galaxy. Do you remember that, Parker?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I think like I try to work on that, and now I ask myself if like I like overcorrected on how respectful I am to the guests. I don't know, but I appreciate you. Same thing to you, MM. Thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. I'm not gonna read that out loud, MM. You and everybody else on YouTube knows why. Y'all have been kind of weird with those YouTube Super Chat messages recently. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of y'all for sure. Folks, W Natalie in that comment section. That's still insane. I am going to go grab dinner with my grandparents, everybody. Super, super duper exciting. I love them so much. God, I love my grandparents. They're awesome. I'm going to go grab dinner with them, everybody. That's it from me for the day. But Mr. Cedric down here, Mr. Parker, he's not done yet, are ya?
I'll probably only do like 45 minutes to an hour, but yeah, I'll probably be on for a little bit longer.
Sick. So if you guys want some more debates, check out @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok, @ParkerGetAJob on YouTube. Unfortunately, we did not hit 7 million followers on the stream, meaning that it'll probably come at some point in the next 12 hours. I'd expect to hit it overnight, so we'll probably throw a little bit of a celebration tomorrow for 7 million on TikTok. For everybody who joined in today, thank you for joining as per usual. For all the first timers, I hope that you enjoyed your first stream. These streams get pretty wild at times. Hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that follow button on TikTok. Drop a sub on YouTube on your way out. I'm out. Parker's going live. Folks.
I'll see you, bro. Have a good rest of your night.
Peace out, Parker. Go
Peace
rate
out, bro.
Parker, everybody. Go show him some love. I'm going to go grab some dinner. Peace, love. Good night and goodbye. Bye, YouTube.